slow matters. May told Scottish First Minister Nicola Sturgeon she is open to listening to options on how to proceed. Sturgeon had warned Scotland would have another secession referendum if the UK withdraws from the European Union and would attempt to become a member of the Union on its own. Some within the British government have suggested that their economic importance may allow them to keep some of the benefits of being a member of the European Economic Area without being a member of the EU itself, though EU nations seem split on whether that is even possible. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs offers premium publicity campaigns designed to facilitate an organization's adoption of Bitcoin as a payment system. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. To learn more, visit bitcoinnotbombs.com. UPI reports Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton pledged on Saturday she will introduce a constitutional amendment in her first month in office to overturn the Citizens United court decision that permits large corporations to make virtually unlimited campaign expenditures. While Clinton has said she opposes the Citizens United Supreme Court decision, her former primary opponent, Senator Bernie Sanders, made his opposition to it a centerpiece of his campaign. Sanders regularly pointed out his campaign refused the kinds of big corporate donations made legal under Citizens United, while Clinton benefited from aligned super PACs that took in millions from various corporate interests to help bolster her campaign. In the weeks since Clinton effectively captured the nomination, she has sought to win over Sanders supporters, some of whom have expressed skepticism that she shares his liberal ideals. Notably, she put forth a plan 2 weeks ago that would make public university tuition free for students whose families make less than $125,000 per year. Sanders made free college tuition another tentpole issue in his campaign. CNN reported a Clinton aide said the plan was a key plank of Clinton's plan to challenge the stranglehold that wealthy interests have over our political system and allow Americans to establish common sense rules to protect against the undue influence of billionaires and special interests and to restore the role of the average voter in elections. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports several destructive wildfires were raging across the southwestern United States on Saturday after consuming dozens of homes and forcing evacuations. Firefighters have gained the upper hand on a blaze burning in the sparsely populated and wooded community of Tiburon, New Mexico. That wildfire, which officials said was in the mop-up stage, had charred about 270 acres, destroyed 44 homes, and damaged or demolished an additional 24 structures since it was sparked on Wednesday. Firefighters in Colorado were facing a so-called red flag warning of low humidity and wind gusts of up to 30 miles per hour as they struggled to contain the 16,200-acre fire about 65 miles southwest of Colorado Springs. To the southwest in Arizona, firefighters aim to keep the 3,700-acre Fuller fire from reaching the highway that serves as a crucial artery in and out of the Grand Canyon National Park's North Rim. Low humidity and strong winds also plagued the 430 fire personnel battling that blaze, which broke out after a lightning strike on June 29th. Firefighters on Saturday focused on keeping the flames to the east of State Route Highway 67. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Hewlett-Packard is known for their basic, no-frills computers, but that doesn't mean they can't keep up with the latest technology. In a press release yesterday, HP said, quote, "We are excited to begin offering that cloud thing that everyone is talking about. We definitely have the cloud on our computers, and it is better than anyone else's cloud." Earlier today, I sat down with HP spokesman Gary Klinman, who said the company couldn't wait to show people, quote, how they do their cloud stuff.
We are absolutely thrilled that now people with computers or phones, both will now be able to back things up to the cloud.
Klinman says it isn't surprising they're, quote, up on the cloud, considering they're on the cutting edge of all the latest tech trends. Are there any additional features?
Crowdsourcing is something we are having. Crowdsourcing 2.0. We have social sharing. We have 5G, 6G, really all the Gs. We have app. We have all of it in the computer.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, and it's the live Sunday edition of the program. As always, you're invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. With you in studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Darryl.
We've got Skype as well. You can Skype into the show here at Skype username LRN.FM. So feel free to reach out in the way that you would like to discuss with us. So we're actually going to go to Skype here to start things out. But coming up tonight, in case you haven't heard, there's been more shootings of police in America today. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 3 officers are allegedly dead with another 3 wounded. The alleged shooter is also now dead, and information is coming out about Gavin Eugene Long, who is the 29-year-old man who allegedly shot the officers this morning. Now, apparently, this Gavin Long is former military, a former sergeant in the Marines, and he decided to conduct this operation of his on his 29th birthday today. So we'll learn more about him because apparently, according to the Daily Caller, Mr. Long has it's still there, he's dead, a YouTube channel where it's not a very well-watched YouTube channel. Your average video looks
Most YouTube channels are not.
Looks like maybe a few dozen views per video. But there is one of them that I've copied the audio from. I just need to edit out an S word from it, and then we'll be able to play it in full on the air, where the headline of the video is, "I am not affiliated with anyone," and it was published about 9 days ago on his YouTube channel. So we'll get into that here. We can talk more about what happened, the shooting. You're welcome to join us. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Also, coming up tonight, the latest from Venezuela, plus a grand jury refuses to indict a journalist in a call flood case, which we know a lot about call flooding, where people who call into, or friends or whatever, will call a police department or a judge or court or something like that, and demand to, let my friend go. Some sort of nonviolent person, a cop blocker, for instance, who's been arrested. Well, the grand jury in this one case decided to not indict, so we'll give you more information about that as well. Let's go to the phones first. We've got Forrest. He's on the line via Skype. You're on Free Talk Live. Forrest, where are you calling from tonight?
I'm calling from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh, wow. Okay, then.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I can't get out of here fast enough. I'm in the process of buying a house on the seacoast, and
oh, wow.
See you guys soon.
You're talking about the seacoast of New Hampshire?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you're moving up here to join the Liberty community?
That's right, yes.
Fantastic. Well,
there's a good crowd of people out in the seacoast.
Yep.
That's what I heard. I ended up just moving there because a friend of mine that is also going to be moving wants to move there because it has the largest Montessori school in the state, and we work together. So I don't know that I'll stay there permanently, but just to get familiar with the area, that's my plan for now.
Excellent. Well, welcome in advance. So what were you calling about tonight?
Well, I was just gonna say I'm not, I have no idea what actually happened today, but I felt afraid of the whole. I mean, the law enforcement. Every encounter I've had with law enforcement in Louisiana has, for the most part, I guess I can't say every encounter, but for the most part, they've all been very negative. Even though I don't run around committing crimes, I'm a model citizen for the most part. I've never been arrested, but they just it's like they feel like they have to scare you right off the bat. So yeah, I can't.
Well, when you say they feel like they have to scare you, are you talking about just the way they dress, where they wear these reflective sunglasses so you can't see their eyes, and there's all this sort of dehumanizing sort of activity around them, or is there something else?
Well, Yeah, I'm sure that's probably true everywhere. That's kind of become their culture. But just their attitude and the way they speak to you, and sometimes scream curses at you, for even though you haven't done anything, and you're just saying, hey, I'm whatever you need, I'm sorry, I don't, you just feel immediately like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And I've been illegally searched here. I've been screamed at for driving through the parking lot of the apartment building I was living in, and it's just, I'm traumatized now. If I get pulled over
Louisiana
now,
sounds like a horrifying place. From what one of our newer movers here to the Keene area has told us. I guess she's been here for about 8 or 9 months at this point. But Melanie, we've had her on the show a couple of times. She went to law school down there in Louisiana. And, the way she describes Louisiana is basically a police state. It's one of the most oppressive police states in the United States, where they'll send you to prison for life for, like a couple times the marijuana possession or whatever.
Yeah, I
crazy.
recall reading a story where some guy was initially sentenced to, I think it was 5 years of prison for some marijuana conviction. He appealed that. It went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, "You're right, this sentence isn't accurate. It should be 20 years.
Wow. Crazy. So, sounds like a good plan to get out of there. Have you lived there your whole life?
I've lived here since I went here for undergrad at LSU.
Oh,
so
okay.
It was just 1996.
Go Tigers.
I've been here for a very long time, and it was just kind of, because of work. And you make friends and everything, but I really should have gotten out. I really should have gotten out here a long time ago. Every single one of those articles that you read about New Hampshire being on the top of the lowest violent crime, the lowest number of police per capita and incarcerations, etc. Louisiana is always on the other end of that chart. The highest corruption, the highest police per capita, the highest incarceration. I really I can't wait to get up there. So
cool.
Hopefully we'll see you in a month or two.
Sounds good, Forrest. Thanks for the call tonight. Good luck with the move, and appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Of course, if you love liberty, if you are a libertarian, if you're a voluntarist, maybe you describe yourself as an anarchist, if you understand the ideas of liberty, you know that you should be free and others should be free to live your life and their lives how they want, so long as you don't infringe upon their rights, as long as you don't bring violence or aggressive force towards another human being. You should be able to do what you want. If you are on board with the ideas of liberty, you really owe it to yourself to come up here to New Hampshire and get with the largest concentration of liberty-minded people in the entire planet. This is the place. There is no larger concentration of liberty activists, and it just keeps getting bigger. Forrest is going to be making the move up here. There's thousands of people who are already here because there's a couple different liberty migrations going on here in New Hampshire, and thousands more are scheduled to come. So it's very, very exciting. We're already having tremendous success politically compared to the rest of the 49 states and their liberty movements. The other liberty movements in the other 49 states are going to get weaker and weaker as more people continue to move to New Hampshire, because people will want to be where the success is happening.
Right.
Period.
And there is still stuff that needs to happen here in New Hampshire. There are still some bad laws.
We're just getting started.
Right.
Yeah.
We're just getting started. So when we say that there's a lot of libertarians moving here and success is happening, it doesn't mean that we are completely successful yet.
No, we need thousands more. We need thousands more activists to
I saw somebody on Facebook earlier today complaining, well, New Hampshire still has this regulation and that regulation, so I don't know why all those libertarians are moving there.
New Hampshire is clearly the freest place in the entire United States, in my opinion. You can learn more about the 101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire by going and watching the free documentary that I happen to have the pleasure of co-producing. You can go to 101reasonsfilm.com. You can watch it for free there. It's on YouTube, and I believe it crossed 100,000 views a few months back. So that's a pretty big milestone. And again, highly recommended. Check it out, 101reasonsfilm.com. We're going to continue. We'll tell you about Gavin Eugene Long, the alleged gunman in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, coming up here in moments. And we'll hear directly from him because he apparently has a YouTube channel And by the way, he's apparently been shot to death by the police. This is Free Talk Live. It's all coming up.
Every once in a while, you get information that's worth changing your life for. This is one such time. You can save up to and beyond 25% on all purchases at Amazon. You probably heard of Bitcoin and just not thought much about it. You certainly know that you can get competitive pricing at Amazon, but now you can get a 25% discount on nearly everything you need to live. I've just given you a huge raise, and all you have to do is claim it. You go to saveitpurse.com and open an account. Do this right now. Don't wait. Then you fund the account with Bitcoin. You can buy them through expresscoin.com with a check or money order. There are other ways to get Bitcoin, but that's fast, safe, and easy. This information is worth you changing the way you do things. Go to saveitpurse.com right now, get signed up, and cash in on the huge raise I'm offering you. 15 to 25% off of everything at Amazon through saveitpurse.com. It's saveatpurse.com.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Arcade City is a ride-sharing app built by drivers, not a mega corporation. As a driver with Arcade City, you can keep all of what you earn. Sign up now to drive for or ride with Arcade City at arcade.freetalklive.com. Arcade City is connecting drivers directly with riders and has been making headlines for disrupting the ride-sharing industry. Sign up now at arcade.freetalklive.com. That's arcade.freetalklive.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live Sunday edition of the program. We'll take your calls about whatever's on your mind. Our toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Just before the show started tonight, I came across a story about the alleged cop killer in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Gavin Eugene Long. He apparently has a YouTube channel, and people are just barely finding out about this. So many of these videos have very few views, most of them just a couple dozen, maximum maybe looks like 200 to 300. We're going to play some of the audio from one video, which is entitled, "I Am Not Affiliated with Anyone." Because obviously some people are going to be wondering, is this guy part of ISIS? Is this a terrorist attack on the police? According to this guy, no, it's not. We'll play that audio for you here in moments. Our toll-free number, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Plus, I want to let you know about my pillow, and Darryl's pillow, and Mark's pillow, and Renee's pillow.
We don't all use the same pillow.
No, but if we did, it'd be okay, because you can wash my pillow. You can throw it into the laundry. And
it'd be rather difficult, though.
That's not that hard to put the pillow in the laundry.
No. I'm saying for 4 people in different locations to use the same pillow.
Yeah, that would be a challenge. So thankfully, we all have our own, and you can get yours over at mypillow.com. In many cases, chronic headaches, neck, and even back pain can be solved with the right pillow. Your spine should be straight and parallel to the floor. So think about the position of your head and neck tonight when you go to bed. It's a great pillow. I'm really enjoying my pillow, and you can go and get one or two, because when you use code FTL, you can either get half off of one or get a second pillow for free over at mypillow.com. Again, don't forget code FTL at mypillow.com. And by the way, there's a 60-day money-back guarantee. So if you get my pillow and for whatever reason you're not satisfied with it, you'll get your money back. Probably have to return the pillow as well. But nonetheless, that's a pretty awesome guarantee, and it shows that mypillow.com stands behind their product. Plus, there's also a 10-year warranty on the product itself. So once again, go to mypillow.com, use code FTL. As we go to your phone calls and thoughts here, coming up, we'll play the audio from the channel on YouTube called I Am Cosmo. Now, I'm not sure why he is Cosmo when his name is Gavin Eugene Long, but according to the Daily Caller, this is his YouTube channel. So we will play some of that audio from you, the alleged shooter in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It says here that, he did go by the name Cosmo Alsar Setepenra when he was discharged from the Marines in 2010. So that explains the name. Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts. First, though, we'll go to Christian. He's in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Christian.
Hi. My name is Chris. I wanted to bring up a subject that you brought up yesterday about illegal immigration.
Sure.
Some callers keep saying that illegal immigrants get all kinds of government benefits, and in particular health benefits. I think they're referring to Medicaid. I just wanted to say something which is a fact, which is when you want to get Medicaid, you have to be a resident. You have to be a citizen or a resident. So much for illegal rights in that area. Also,
well, I think the claim by the people saying, they're coming over and getting these benefits, and I've heard people, expound on this to where they'll say, well, they're using somebody's Social Security card illegally. Well, okay, then they're committing another offense. The fact that they crossed a border illegally has nothing to do with the fact that they're committing welfare fraud, if the welfare fraud is even happening in the first place.
Yeah, if. Okay, I don't know. But you have to show some proof that you are eligible for those benefits. And someone mentioned government jobs, and at least for the federal government, you have to be a citizen to be a federal employee. So, again, that was sort of maybe when he said government jobs in general, basically also inferring that those people were doing a useless job, which is another story. Anyway, that was just these were just the two only
thanks
points.
for throwing that out here tonight,
well,
Christian.
there are a lot of people that have government jobs that all they're doing is shuffling papers to make sure that a bureaucracy of some sort stays around, and I would say that those are largely useless jobs.
Yeah, that's a different issue.
Well, one of the other things about immigrants and welfare that we didn't point out last night is that a lot of them actually pay into the system. and do not collect benefits.
Yeah, we actually talked about it on this show before. The billions upon billions of dollars every year that are taken in by governments through various forms of taxation from these immigrants that might not be in the country legally.
Yeah, in fact, personal story here. I got a copy of my Social Security, how do you call this, contributions at some point, and there was someone who was contributing on my Social Security using my Social Security number who was a coworker who was obviously illegal. So those things do happen, obviously. They pay into the system. They'll never collect because obviously it was going into my points. So.
That's
anyway,
right. Christian, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate hearing from you tonight. Toll-free number if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE. And Skype username is LRN.FM. We have David on the line in New Hampshire. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, David.
Hi. I'm calling to talk about Baton Rouge. And I listened to Obama's response to it. And I concluded that Obama is a statist Oreo. That's my new phrase from statist Oreo. And
well, what exactly do you mean by statist Oreo?
That means he cares more about the state than he does the people, and he doesn't affirm Black Lives Matter, and he cares about the state and the status quo. And all he does is talk about, how the cops were wronged. But to me, it's a revolution. He doesn't talk about how Black Lives Matter was wronged. He cares about the state. I don't know.
I don't think Obama would say that the police are wrong. I'm pretty sure he is a fan of the police.
No, he's saying that they were wronged.
Oh, wronged. I gotcha.
That they had wrong done against them. No, and the reason that I asked, because... I'm from Alabama, so maybe up in New Hampshire the word Oreo doesn't get thrown around as a racist term, but where I'm from, it most definitely is.
What is it? Doesn't that mean black on the outside?
Right. You look black, but you're actually a white person.
How's that racist?
Kind of.
It's derogatory for the.
It's derogatory. I get you.
Right. It's derogatory towards the people that use it are generally black people that say you're not sufficiently black because you have a good job, you're educated, you're not quote-unquote hood anymore, and somehow, therefore, you've lost your black card.
Thanks, David, for your call tonight. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Live Sunday edition of Free Talk Live. We'll continue with audio from the alleged shooter's YouTube channel. He claims he's not affiliated with anyone. Conversations with Cosmo is what he called his YouTube show, because he's dead now. It's Free Talk Live.
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. This could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A General Steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
This is your Roberts & Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. In early trading Friday, gold is $10 lower at $1,325 per ounce, and silver is 21 cents lower at $20.13 per ounce. Bitcoin is currently trading at 661 US dollars. Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been helping clients buying and selling precious metals for nearly 40 years. For more information, give us a call at 800-874-9760 or visit us online at rrbi.co.
For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu 641-793-9660. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You may bring up what you want on the live Sunday edition here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, or you can Skype into the show. Skype username is LRN.FM. Coming up, we'll play audio from the alleged shooter in Baton Rouge today, Gavin Eugene Long. He apparently has a YouTube channel, and we haven't had much time to really go through his content. He's got dozens of videos on the channel. Was a relatively frequent producer, but I did find one with a title that seems relevant, and the content seems relevant to what it is he allegedly did today in Baton Rouge, shooting to death at least 3 police officers and injuring 3 more. He is now dead, apparently, and we'll play the audio for you here in moments. But first, we'll go to your phone calls and thoughts. Also, want to let you know you got a lot of choices when it comes to cryptocurrency wallets, but there's only one that holds Bitcoin, Ether, and DAO tokens. It's Jaxx, JAXX.io is where you can go, or your favorite app store from Google or Apple to download it. It is cross-platform, which means you can use it on your smartphone, your tablet. You can use it on a desktop or laptop computer, Windows, Mac, iOS, Android, Linux, and I believe some browser plugin versions like Chrome and Firefox. Go and get your favorite operating system, some Jaxx, over at Jaxx.io, JAXX.io. Their ultimate aim is to build you a digital command center for your life, giving you control over coins, currencies, contracts, identity, and more. And they're starting with the coins. You can use it over on your favorite platform, and your data is stored client-side, so you've got security. The company that made Jaxx is not able to access your funds. Jaxx.io, JAXX.io. As we go back to the phones and to the fun, Joe is in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Joe.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hey there.
Basically, what happened today, they don't have all the details. What happened in Dallas, we do know exactly the details of that. My wife is African-American. My best friend is John Quintana. I'm as white as you get. I grew up on a ranch. I'm a country boy. So diversity is all fine. But what's happened nowadays is there is a premise that is put out by the Obama administration when he was talking about Trayvon Martin, the guy in Ferguson, Michael Brown, all that crap that happened. It was always the cops' fault. There's always this premise now. My sister-in-law put out on her little Facebook thing saying, I don't let my kid, and she lives in a very influential, nice neighborhood in Scottsdale, Arizona, and she said, I'm not going to let my boy run around in the white neighborhood because this is going to happen. You know, and it's a bunch of crap because the majority of people that are shot by cops in America are usually white. There is a very small percentage of black people that have been shot by cops. That is a reality. So the Black Lives Matter, the hands up, don't shoot crap is all a filthy lie. And the Black Lives Matter thing, to me, is extremely racist, and any black person that uses the N-word is a bigot and a racist because it disparages against white people. So I'm tired of the hypocrisy and the double standard in America. The fact is Barack Obama has put an environment in place in America where, and now he's backing out on it, saying, oh, the cops are wonderful now. But before his premise has been, oh, well, look, my best friend was trying to just get in his house and a white guy cop assaulted the guy, come up and asked him what he was doing, and he acted stupidly. Remember that? So he's put out this concept, and he comes from black theology, Reverend Wright. So he has a racist undertone going into the Oval Office. I read all about Obama before he ever got elected.
You know, the police were oppressing people before Barack Obama, right?
Well, look, man, my father-in-law, black, through the 60s, through whatever, there are going to be cops that are, they're there to enforce the law. They're there to keep tyranny down. They're there to keep anarchy.
The cops are the tyranny, dude. The cops are not keeping tyranny down. They are the hand.
You're saying all cops are tyrannous? Yeah, you freaking gourd, boy.
Yeah, for the most part, they are all part of tyranny, dude. They do the bidding of the politicians who pass tyrannical laws against peaceful people.
Right, and back in the 1960s, there was a law that said that in the South, you could not have white people and black people sitting at the same lunch counter. And the police were trying to enforce that law.
Okay, now listen to me. Are the 60s over with, or are we still in the 60s?
You're the one that brought up the 60s, and you're the one that brought up police are just enforcing the law. So I'm telling you one of the laws that they were enforcing in the 1960s.
Okay, I brought up the 60s to put an example of my father-in-law. The only time he had an encounter with a cop was back in the 60s, and that's where I was going with this. And he was going on a trip. Somebody had robbed a convenience store in Albuquerque. He was going to Santa Fe. The state cop pulled him over because he looked like the guy, the perpetrator. Showed him his ID. He went on his merry way. No event happened. None of my brother-in-laws have been shot. They're all doctors. They all went to school, got educated. They work. My father-in-law works. If you mess with a cop and disrespect a cop, yes, you can call it tyrannical if you want. I didn't mean to use the word tyrannical. What I meant to use is the word anarchy. If you don't have law enforcement in place to keep people from going anarchist, they're going to go anarchist.
Well, that is false. It's easy to prove that that's false. It's actually, we have anarchy right now. The police are the current ruling gang in the anarchist setting that we have. And further, if you go back and you look at the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, the real anarchy, if you will, or the lack of order really started to happen after average people left the New Orleans area. The police were not able to handle that situation in any way, shape, or form.
And that's why they brought in the National Guard, and the National Guard went door to door taking people's firearms
like
so that nobody was able to defend themselves.
Which is like one of the hallmarks of tyranny, where people are disarmed forcibly by the state agents. Thanks for the call, Joe. I appreciate it.
And I got to say something about the whole Black Lives Matter thing. There's a Reddit thread. There's actually an entire subreddit called Explain It Like I'm 5. And somebody has a Reddit thread on here about Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter. And it's fairly lengthy, so I'll just read the final paragraph. The phrase Black Lives Matter has an implicit "to" at the end. It's saying that Black lives also matter. By responding to Black Lives Matter with All Lives Matter, you are willfully going back to ignoring the problem that exists.
I disagree.
It's a way of dismissing the statement by falsely suggesting that it's only Black lives that matter, whereas they're saying Black lives also matter.
Well, I mean, maybe some people are saying that, but the word "to" does not appear in the, the phraseology. It just says Black Lives Matter.
It's an implied "to."
Well, that's what this person is saying, but maybe, maybe not everybody thinks that. So if you don't actually make it clear, the implication may not necessarily be present for everybody who's looking at that.
Right.
So
and
I can understand.
The example that he gives in this, like 5-paragraph thing is a family goes out to eat, and one of the children, when the waiter comes around and drops food off at the table, one of the kids doesn't get his food and says, "I should have food," and the father says, "We all should have food." So you're dismissing the problem that exists. Somebody's not getting the treatment that they should. Somebody's not getting the rights that they deserve.
Yeah, but I mean, to say Black Lives Matter makes it sound like everybody else is being dismissed, because everybody's lives matter and the police are oppressing everybody. Now, I don't know if that caller was accurate in what he was saying, where he claimed that the majority of cops or the majority of police killings are white people. I'm not sure what the numbers break down to.
The statistics I've seen, it's a plurality, but not a majority.
I suspect that, and this is just a speculation on my part, that black people are killed disproportionately to their percentage of the population, meaning that more are killed by police than the percentage per capita or whatever by the population. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves here, but the whole Black Lives Matter thing ignores the real problem, which is not that the police need to be killing everyone equally, but that the police need to stop unnecessarily killing people.
If you're considering going back to school, ask yourself the following questions. Do you need the flexibility to take classes on your schedule? Do you have college credits you need transferred? Do you want to earn a quality degree from a world-renowned university? If you answered yes to any of these questions, Arizona State University is the perfect school for you. Arizona State University offers over 100 highly ranked degree programs 100% online. You'll earn the same degree as you would on campus, from wherever you are, on your schedule. Plus, ASU Online accepts most transfer credits. For information, call 1-800-958-5345. Learn for yourself why the Wall Street Journal ranks ASU 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates, and why 90% of ASU grads are recruited within 90 days of graduation. Learn to grow, learn to succeed, and learn to thrive at Arizona State University. To learn more about ASU online degrees, call 1-800-958-5345. That's 1-800-958-5345.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care, as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends radio show. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agorist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any tomfoolery. So go with agoristhosting.com. And if you want to get your foot in the door with decentralized marketplaces, Agorist Hosting is now offering Open Bazaar hosting. Go to agoristhosting.com, click on the button that says Get Hosted. Agorist Hosting, that's AGORIST, hosting.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live shows 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can join us here. Toll free, 855-450-FREE. It is the live Sunday edition of the program. With you in studio, it's Ian.
And Darryl.
And, of course, you can join us online anytime you want. Just head on over to freetalklive.com. If you like what we're doing on Free Talk Live, if you want to help support the show, then please become a Free Talk Live amplifier. It's $5 a month, and you get perks like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only podcast, as well as the AMP-only Facebook group. Go get all the details and get signed up. It makes a big difference for us when you do that because it helps us effectively market the show and get on more radio stations around the country, as well as more internet connections around the globe and satellite channels. You can go and learn more about it, and please sign up with any major credit card through PayPal or Visa or MasterCard right there on the website, amp.freetalklive.com, ampamp.freetalklive.com. Really interesting news coming out of Venezuela. I want to get to that tonight. We've had a lot of your calls so far, and so we're going back to the phones and to the fun. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Skype username, LRN.FM. We go to Nate. He's in New Hampshire. You're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Darryl. Hello, Nate.
How you doing?
Hey, welcome, sir.
Hey, I'm just cruising. I've never heard you guys before, and I just was scanning through my radio.
Where did you pick us up on a Sunday night in New Hampshire? Are you in Nashua?
Nah, I'm actually in Idaho.
Oh, okay. It said Nate from New Hampshire here, so I apologize about that. Go ahead.
No, okay, whatever. Anyways, you talked about New Hampshire being a free place. The problem is you got to understand who we're dealing with before you can make it completely free. I said if you look up 28 U.S. 3002, it talks about definitions. If you can't find it that way, just look up federal corporation U.S. In 1871, the federal government created a corporation called the U.S. The U.S. created subcorporations masked as our state names. Okay, so in every state, so if you get a bill from your city, it usually says whatever city corporation. So if you're dealing with a corporation instead of a republic, then you're dealing with a company, whether it's Walmart, Taco Time, doesn't matter what it is. But everything in every state has become a corporation, and we have abandoned the republic. If you will hold an election of the city that you're in under the republic, and then file, and then put notice on the state corporation that they have 60 days to register with you. Then you use the sheriff to evict them.
Yeah, this sounds like a real interesting conspiracy theory. I've heard similar.
Hold on a second.
I've heard variants on this over the years, and yeah, you can go and you can look up, corporate names for cities and things like that on like Dun & Bradstreet, and so there's
right. They're what's called municipal corporations.
Correct. And, there are some interesting theories about this, but it sounds to me like you are just speculating and that you've never actually done any of the things you're suggesting, right?
Well, that in itself is a speculation.
That's right. And that's why I'm asking you whether that's true, because you're here and you can tell us.
That's 100% true.
So it's true that you've never done any of this stuff before.
No, I've taken it in and shown their court that they're a corporation, they're sub-corporation. Every city's a sister corporation.
Who did you take to court?
I went to court, and when I go to court, I show them who they are, and I'm not interested in purchasing their services. So you're talking about these cops.
Now, what was the circumstance that brought you into the courtroom?
Oh, my taillight on my car was out.
So they ticketed you.
They pulled me over, and they asked if they could get to sign a contract, and I wasn't interested in signing a contract, so I didn't.
You're saying they offered you the ticket, they wanted you to sign it, you refused to sign it.
You refer to it as a ticket, but if you have to sign something and it has an agreement on it, that is a contract.
Let me tell you, not every state requires you to sign the ticket. So even if you don't sign the ticket in some states, they'll still go ahead and bring you to court.
In New Hampshire, they call it a summons.
Yeah.
And you don't sign anything on the side of the road.
It'll say a summons. If it doesn't say a summons, then you're not required. They're two different things.
So you went into court, you showed them that they were a corporation, and then what? They just said, "All right, see you later. You beat us."
No, I fought them for a little bit, but I got it put away, basically.
What's that mean?
Yeah, the thing is, cops, all they are is sales agents.
All right, so what does it mean when you said you got it put away, basically?
What do you mean?
You said you got it put away, basically. What does that mean?
Oh, dismissed. It took me I did it for 6 months. I was going back and forth with them.
So you got them to dismiss the charge by, you believe, showing them that they are a corporation and that you don't consent to their contract.
It didn't. If you don't sign or agree to anything, you're dealing with contract law, period.
Well, that's an interesting theory. Now, here's my other question for you. Did you actually document any of your courtroom trial or hearings in any way, shape, or form?
Well, yeah, I always keep it.
Great. Where can I find the video?
A video? I've never done what are you talking about? I keep the court case.
Oh, okay. So all you have is paperwork.
In there with a camera.
Oh, yeah, right. Like you wouldn't want to show people what actually happens.
Well, I mean, if you can understand the concept of a company, so that's why you do a pre-trial.
Well, I can understand the concept, but it's easier to show people rather than tell them. Wouldn't you agree with that, Darryl? Like when somebody's making a claim, if you can actually show the proof of the claim, then it's a lot easier.
There's video of me beating a parking ticket here in Keene, New Hampshire. The video's on YouTube for all the world to see.
All right, we record everything in court. Maybe they'll arrest you out in Idaho or wherever it is that you've done this. For recording video. So here's what I'd like you to do. You should move to New Hampshire, and then we'll go ahead and record video of you challenging the existence of the state.
He doesn't even have to move here. He could just come out here, get a ticket for something.
Right.
And then go to court for it.
Yeah, I want to see this work. I really want to believe what it is that you're saying, because I've tried to tell them, hey, look, I don't consent to your system. I'm opting out.
They don't care.
They just keep throwing me in their jails, and they keep ticketing me. So
you go to jail. How many times have you gone to jail?
A few.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing.
How about you?
First, a few.
Okay. So I guess it didn't work every time, huh?
Learning curve. Oh, hold on. It's a learning curve. It's figuring out what's going on. You don't just jump into this because all of a sudden you
That's right. See, this is the common refrain of the guru, the courtroom guru, is that, oh, well, you just haven't learned enough about how the system works. So that's why I want somebody like you who claims to know how to beat, the system at its own game to show us. Come on out to New Hampshire. Come on out to the southwest corner of New Hampshire. And we'll go ahead and get yourself a parking ticket or something like that. It's pretty easy to get one of those. And then let's see if they'll go ahead and dismiss the case after you utter whatever magic words in front of the judge. And we'll get it on video, and then you can show that video to all these people and prove it to them.
Unless he, like the other people that we know that have moved here and said that they know magic words, they just forget to tell everybody what day their court date is until afterwards, and they're like, oh, yeah, I had court yesterday. I got found guilty.
No, I don't show up. Actually, what they do is they send you they'll send you another offer to contract, and that's the one you mess with. So, you got the cop says, well, there'll be a warrant, and you're like, there's not going to be a warrant because I didn't sign your agreement. Now, if it's a summons, it's a completely different situation. But the most likely that's a highway patrolman that gives you a summons, which he doesn't have the ability to summons you.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he does, and the courts think he does.
Right, you try telling that to the man in the robe, dude. That's what I want to see. I want to watch that happen. I want to watch you stand in front of Judge Burke here in Keene, New Hampshire, and try to tell him they can't summons you somewhere. Because I guarantee you they're going to send men with guns after you, and they're going to kidnap you, and they're going to force you to be in that courtroom. But I'd love for you to prove me wrong, so why don't you go check out Shire Society.
Okay, I understand that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. How can an officer give a summons out that the judge has, that the information has not been given to the court yet? If I'm going to sue you, I got to go to court. I got to put the information in the
That's
court.
because they're not suing you. They give you the summons, and then they take it down to the court, and it goes on file, and they give you a court date. Thanks for the call tonight. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Actually, what happens, as I understand it, is the officers, they sort of know when the arraignment dates are going to be, and so they'll summons you in on one of those arraignment dates, and then they submit that to the court. They say, oh, we wrote Darryl W. Perry a summons on this date, and we told him to come in on the 8th of August or whatever, and then they'll just add you to the docket. And if you don't show up, then they issue a warrant for your arrest. 855-450-FREE. Because there are a bunch of men with guns, and they don't follow their own rules, but I'm sure if he actually went to court and we video recorded it, we'd prove
Adam
that.
Kokesh has agreed to meet Bernie Sanders in any city in America on any day between now and the end of the year for a friendly debate on socialism versus voluntarism, in which Bernie can choose an objective moderator. To sweeten the deal, Roger Ver, a.k.a. Bitcoin Jesus, has offered that upon completion of a 3-hour debate in which both men have equal time, he will donate a total of $100,000 worth of Bitcoin to the charity of each man's choice, $50,000 apiece. Learn more at bernie.freetalklive.com.
Are you searching for your soulmate? Someone you can trust, who will never betray you or cooperate with the NSA? Stop searching. With EasyDNS, you found a keeper. EasyDNS does it all. Domain names, web hosting, and managed WordPress hosting. EasyDNS stands up for your internet freedom, and with servers in Canada, they do not cooperate with the NSA. Go to EasyDNS.com. You'll love their services or get a full refund. They guarantee it. And they accept Bitcoin. That's EasyDNS.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, July 17th, 2016. Silver is trading at $20.30 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,338 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $673. Antiwar.com reports Britain's new Prime Minister, Theresa May, is in Scotland. An anti-Brexit Prime Minister trying to assure the anti-Brexit Scottish First Minister that no steps toward triggering Article 50 to withdraw from the European Union is imminent. Indeed, May insisted that Britain absolutely would not trigger Article 50 until there was a UK approach that had been agreed on in general accord around the United Kingdom, suggesting the strong opposition to the exit in both Scotland and Northern Ireland is likely to greatly slow matters. May told Scottish First Minister Nicola Sturgeon she is open to listening to options on how to proceed. Sturgeon had warned Scotland would have another secession referendum if the UK withdraws from the European Union and would attempt to become a member of the Union on its own. Some within the British government have suggested that their economic importance may allow them to keep some of the benefits of being a member of the European Economic Area without being a member of the EU itself, though EU nations seem split on whether that is even possible. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs offers premium publicity campaigns designed to facilitate an organization's adoption of Bitcoin as a payment system. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. To learn more, visit bitcoinnotbombs.com. UPI reports Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton pledged on Saturday she will introduce a constitutional amendment in her first month in office to overturn the Citizens United court decision that permits large corporations to make virtually unlimited campaign expenditures. While Clinton has said she opposes the Citizens United Supreme Court decision, her former primary opponent, Senator Bernie Sanders, made his opposition to it a centerpiece of his campaign. Sanders regularly pointed out his campaign refused the kinds of big corporate donations made legal under Citizens United, while Clinton benefited from aligned super PACs that took in millions from various corporate interests to help bolster her campaign. In the weeks since Clinton effectively captured the nomination, she has sought to win over Sanders supporters, some of whom have expressed skepticism that she shares his liberal ideals. Notably, she put forth a plan 2 weeks ago that would make public university tuition free for students whose families make less than $125,000 per year. Sanders made free college tuition another tentpole issue in his campaign. CNN reported a Clinton aide said the plan was a key plank of Clinton's plan to challenge the stranglehold that wealthy interests have over our political system and allow Americans to establish common sense rules to protect against the undue influence of billionaires and special interests and to restore the role of the average voter in elections. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports several destructive wildfires were raging across the southwestern United States on Saturday after consuming dozens of homes and forcing evacuations. Firefighters have gained the upper hand on a blaze burning in the sparsely populated and wooded community of Tiburon, New Mexico. That wildfire, which officials said was in the mop-up stage, had charred about 270 acres, destroyed 44 homes, and damaged or demolished an additional 24 structures since it was sparked on Wednesday. Firefighters in Colorado were facing a so-called red flag warning of low humidity and wind gusts of up to 30 miles per hour as they struggled to contain the 16,200-acre fire about 65 miles southwest of Colorado Springs. To the southwest in Arizona, firefighters aim to keep the 3,700-acre Fuller fire from reaching the highway that serves as a crucial artery in and out of the Grand Canyon National Park's North Rim. Low humidity and strong winds also plagued the 430 fire personnel battling that blaze, which broke out after a lightning strike on June 29th. Firefighters on Saturday focused on keeping the flames to the east of State Route Highway 67. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Did you know? that 35% of high school girls report that they've only had sex with 1 or 2 partners a year, instead of having the living shit out of them by any guy they see?
Did you know that only half of all 17-year-old males report without a condom, even though it's really the only way to go?
There are thousands of American teenagers today who are unaware of the full benefits of your brains out all day, every day. These otherwise average high schoolers haven't been taught about every chance you get, pounding each other dry and never ever pulling out. Every sexually active high school student should know this stuff. Ditch the condoms, because it's always better raw. Stop worrying about STDs. Every chance you get. Just keep and strangers, doesn't matter who. And most importantly, be direct with your partner about how badly you want to their brains out.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever's on your mind. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've had a lot of phone calls so far tonight for this live Sunday edition. Haven't really, therefore, had a lot of chance to delve into Cosmo Setepenra. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, but that's what he went by previously, and he goes by Cosmo on his YouTube channel, and apparently he is also an author. That's what he calls himself on his YouTube channel and as his books. His real name is apparently Gavin Eugene Long, and he's the man who's accused of shooting to death 3 police officers today in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and allegedly injuring at least 3 more officers. He's a 29-year-old from Kansas City, Missouri. He was allegedly killed at the scene of the shooting today. The story coming from Heavy.com. It's Ian and Darryl in the studio, by the way. Our toll-free number, if you want to join us here, is 855-450-FREE. Police believe the gunman killed at the scene during the gunfight was a lone attacker and no other shooters are currently at large. State Police Colonel Mike Edmondson said at a press conference there is no active shooter situation ongoing, but investigators are working to determine if the gunman had any assistance from co-conspirators. Anyone with information is obviously asked to contact the police. Police have officially not released his name. 2 of the 3 slain officers have been identified as Montrell Jackson and Matthew Gerald. Now, one of those 2 is a black police officer. The man, Gavin Long, who's the alleged shooter, is also a black man. So apparently he was willing to target any police officer, unlike the shooter in Dallas, who allegedly only targeted white police officers. A few details are known about the gunman so far, and the story will be updated from Heavy.com. But they did give some detail here about him, from what we've learned so far, which is, very little. But his birthday is apparently today. So he is 29, or was 29 as of today. He chose his birthday, apparently, to go out and kill people. He served in the Marine Corps, left in 2010 with an honorable discharge as a sergeant at the E5 level. The Los Angeles Times, citing a federal law enforcement official, said Long is a black separatist, but did not provide any other details. Johnson had shown an interest on social media in black separatist groups, according to the police. Public records show Long has lived in Kansas City and Grandview, Missouri, as well as some other places, including San Diego and Tuscaloosa. No ties to Louisiana have been found, so it sounds like he specifically went to Baton Rouge to kill the police there, as that is one of the locations within the last few weeks where police have executed a man, from what I understand. So there's more about him that we've been learning here in the studio, including playing some of the videos on his YouTube channel. We're going to link to one of them. The title of the video I'm going to play for you here is relatively short. It's about 1.5 minutes in length, and it's titled, it was, by the way, released about a week ago, just about 9 days. It's titled, I Am Not Affiliated with Anyone. So what you have here is the alleged shooter sitting in what appears to be his living room. He's got a couple of monitors behind him with the logo for his show, which is called Conversations with Cosmo, which is his other name for himself, his stage name, if you will.
Right.
And he's just talking into the camera with a microphone. Here is that audio.
Oh, and this is very important. I wanted to let y'all know, because if anything happened with me, because I'm an alpha male, I stand up, I stand firm, and I stand for mine.
All right, hold on. So when he says, oh, and it sounds like he's continuing a train of thought, I believe this was recorded immediately after the video that came prior to it, which is entitled, Men, It's Time to Sacrifice. Everything I Do is for the Women. And then this other one, I believe, was uploaded immediately.
Alrighty
after.
then.
This is a further thought that he had after he finished the first video.
Till the end, to the last day on this, in this flesh. But I'm not the flesh. I'm not the body. I have a body. But I just want to let y'all know, don't affiliate me with nothing. I'm not affiliated with the Black Business School, even though I might promote their business or something like that, or any of my friends, any of my associations. Those are just associations. I'm not affiliated with it. Yeah, I was also a Nation of Islam member. I'm not affiliated with it. Don't affiliate me with the money team. Something happened, they be like, well, yeah, we was with Floyd Mayweather. No, don't affiliate me with nothing. Black Business School, I was a Christian. I was in Africa. Don't try to say, oh, he was Africa, he was this and that. No. They try to put you with ISIS or some other terrorist group or anything. No, I'm affiliated with the Spirit of Justice.
Now, it definitely sounds like he was planning something, right? He's saying, hey, don't associate me with ISIS. Don't associate me with Nation of Islam. I'm affiliated with Justice. This is a week or 9 days prior to the killings. It really sounds like he was
certainly sounds cryptic.
Yeah, it sounds like he was leaving this message for people that might be investigating him later on.
I'm affiliated with the Spirit of Justice. Nothing else. Nothing more, nothing less. All right? You see Convos with Cosmo. That's me. I created that. That's what I'm affiliated with.
I've just got to ask, what's with the slow jazz going on in the background?
Oh, he likes smooth music.
Right, but he sounds fairly angry, and generally, like, slow jazz is not going to make you angry.
I would say this man is full of some contradictions, some internal contradictions. I mean, if you look at his books on Amazon, there are 3 of them. One of them is called The Cosmo Way, a holistic guide for the total transformation of melanated people, Volume 1. There's also the
melanated people?
Yep. I think that means people with melanin in their skin.
Yep. I just wanted to make sure that I heard you correctly.
Volume 1 is called The Detox. There's also Volume 2, which is The Ascension. And then there's a third book, which was, I guess they were all published here toward the end of 2015. The Laws of the Cosmos, Wisely Follow or Blindly Suffer, the definitive guide to spiritual success. So the book artwork, it looks very spiritual. He's got on one of them several hands coming together surrounding the sun, sort of outlining the sun.
Okay.
In another one, there's a book with sort of the sun rising from it. And so it looks very, very, peaceful in a lot of ways. So, yes, you have smooth jazz in the background while he's sort of ranting on about,
justice.
Whatever. Yeah, justice. There's a little bit more to his video. I'll continue that here.
That's what I'm affiliated with. Conversations with Cosmo that I built, me and my own. And with the Spirit of Justice. That's it. So just make sure. No affiliations. No. I thought my own thoughts. I made my own decisions. I'm the one who got to listen to the judgment. That's it. And my heart is pure.
Yeah. So it definitely sounds like he was planning to go out with a bang. We're, looking at more of the information about this guy. Here's what his bio says from his Amazon page for his personality that writes the books is Cosmo Setepenera, and he writes this about himself. Cosmo is a nutritionist, life coach, dietitian, personal trainer, author, and spiritual advisor. At the age of 16, after self-educating himself about fitness, nutrition, and diet, Cosmo lost over 80 pounds in 6 months. He then joined the United States Marine Corps and earned the rank of Sergeant E5 in less than 3 years. As one of the Corps' most physically fit Marines, during his 5 years as a Marine, Cosmo spent 2 years in Japan and did 1 tour in Iraq. While stationed in San Diego, California, Cosmo became a highly esteemed and sought-after nutritionist and personal trainer. After completing an associate's degree in general studies at Central Texas College, Cosmo then attended Clark Atlanta University to further his education. After a year and a half at Atlanta, As a Dean's List student, he had a spiritual revelation that resulted in him dropping out of college, selling his 2 cars, giving away all of his material possessions, packing 2 suitcases, and journeying to Africa, his ancestral homeland. While in Africa, Cosmo's spiritual journey took him across Rwanda, Ethiopia, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Egypt, Ghana, and Burkina Faso. During that time, he frequented the highly treasured and revered mountainous regions of Africa and was taught by Africa's native spiritual practitioners and elder holistic healers. Cosmo has been an avid student of nutrition, health, fitness, personal transformation, and spiritual mastery since the age of 16. So he really sounds like he was in touch with his spiritual side. Apparently, that told him to go and commit murder. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can share your thoughts on Cosmo, or whatever his other real name was here, Gavin Long. This is Free Talk Live.
All right, listen up, because this is the most important thing you're going to hear all day. What if I said you could make money flipping houses without any cash, credit, or manual labor? And what if I said you could do it part-time from the comfort of your home? Sound unflippin' believable? Hi, I'm Preston Neely, and I'm going to prove it by sending you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It sells online for $19.95, but I'm giving away free copies this week. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-960-4295. I used to be so broke, I had my electricity shut off 9 times, but I figured out a simple way to make money flipping houses without even breaking a sweat. Now I'm living the good life, and so should you. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. Hands down, it's the fastest, easiest way to get started in real estate. Let me prove it. Call right now to find out how to get your free book. When they're gone, they're gone. Call 1-800-960-4295. 1-800-960-4295.
To a professional trader in precious metals, the key is spot price. Spot price is market price, what gold or silver actually costs on the exchange. Regular people looking to invest never get spot price because resellers add fees for everything: refining, minting, brokerage costs, commissions. The public is never offered spot price until now. In a limited new customer outreach, JM Bullion offers you the chance to own a 10-ounce bar of pure silver at spot price. No fees, commissions, markups, not even a shipping cost. Now, through JM Bullion, own the most real investment of all at real cost. Not a piece of paper from Wall Street or a bank. A 10-ounce bar of silver at spot price. That's a solid investment. But you must act now. Go online to realpricesilver.com for this limited time offer. That's realpricesilver.com. realpricesilver.com. Limit 1 offer per household. 50 United States only.
Is spreading the message of liberty and peace around the globe worth 15 cents per day to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. Last year, we did a fundraiser that successfully covered the costs of continuing our African channel. This year, we're hoping to raise enough to fund a new satellite signal that will cover Europe, North Africa, and much of the Middle East. You can donate as much or as little as you like via the Indiegogo campaign at fund.lrn.fm. And there are perks available like sitting in on your favorite LRN.FM show, exclusive shiny badges, or even naming a satellite channel. Please contribute now at fund.lrn.fm and help us continue our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. The fundraiser ends August 19th, so please visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. That's fund.lrn.fm.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Ovaltine. Give your kids the nutrition they need to be their best. Visit us at ovaltineusa.com. Telling your child about healthy food choices is important, but showing her what to eat goes a lot further. Have her help create the grocery list, then bring her to the store with you. Picking out healthy foods together helps kids get in the habit of thinking about what they're eating every day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and we'll take your calls about whatever's on your mind. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about the shooting of more police down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The alleged shooter is dead, according to reports, but now information's coming out about his YouTube channel and his books. He's a published author over at Amazon.com, writing spiritual help guides, while apparently also plotting to murder people. Seems a bit inconsistent, but, that's crazy for you. It's Ian and Darryl in the studio here tonight. Also, want to let you know about the Free Talk Live feedback line, which is now part of our audio on-demand listen line. You can call 641-793-9660, and you can listen to Free Talk Live anytime you want there. The latest episode is always playing. Plus, you can also listen to LRN.FM, the Liberty Radio Network, and nearly a dozen of its original content shows, like the Freedom Fiends, the Rebel Love Show, Cop Block Radio, Flaming Freedom, and more. Go and put this number in your phone, 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. If you want to leave us a voicemail that we could play on the air, we played our first one that we received ever last night. Got another one during the night last night as well. If we get a chance, we might play that one this evening. But what you have to do is call that number, 641-793-9660. Choose number 2 from the main menu. That's the Free Talk Live audio on demand. And then as soon as you hit number 2, it'll give you the option to press 0 and leave us a message. When you do that, it's delivered to our email addresses, and then we might play it on the air. So again, that number, 641-793-9660. Plug that into your phone, and of course you can just use it to listen to the show. That's what most people are going to do. But if you want to try out that feedback option, it's there for you. So you can join us here on the phones. We're going to go back to the phones and to the fun. It's Sarah. She's in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Darryl. Hello, Sarah.
To let everybody know that University of New Mexico had the lowest student enrollment this year. Maybe it was last year, I don't know. But so that 300 union workers are going to be losing their jobs. So that was what was announced.
I think it's a good thing that fewer people are going to college. How about you, Sarah? I think that's great news.
Oh, you know something? I have a reason why this is so. I'm telling you. You know what? New Mexico is #1 in pedestrian fatalities. Now, if you're going to do a student,
what does that have to do with people not going to college?
And also, we've already debunked the whole pedestrian thing. But, yeah, I'm curious what any of that has to do with people not going to college.
Well, if you go to college and you cross the street and you get hit by a car and then your legs and back are broken, or, somebody runs a red light. And
I can tell you something, Sarah. I have never once, whenever I've moved somewhere, ever checked the statistics about accidents. I've never done it. And I suspect most people are more like me in that way than they are like you, which is to completely obsess over accident traffic statistics. So given that college students are mostly interested in partying, and there's a few of them who are interested in learning, I suspect that most of them are also not checking the accident statistics prior to deciding where to go to college. Further, most people are likely to stay in the same state where they have their college because you get a better deal. If you are an in-state tuition, it's usually more affordable to go to college, so there's really a disincentive to leave New Mexico if you already live there. Now, there are some people that will still go out to other schools. They'll get scholarships and things like that, or their parents are rich, or they themselves can afford it for some reason. But most people are going to just stay right where they are. So really, it's probably a statement of the fact that the college degree doesn't have the same weight that it once did. And maybe young people are actually figuring out that college, in a lot of ways, is an absolute scam, That's what I'd like to hope, but I can guarantee you it's not them looking up traffic statistics.
Well, I'm also curious what the enrollment statistics are at other colleges within New Mexico, because she's saying it's only the University of New Mexico. There's also New Mexico State, Eastern New Mexico University, New Mexico Highlands, Western New Mexico, and the list goes on.
Sarah, thanks. Go ahead.
The only thing that I was announced, the only thing that I heard on the radio news was about UNIM. And what I could say is that when we had red light cameras for 7 years here, we had higher enrollment.
Yeah, that's correlation is not causation. We've tried to explain this to you before, but maybe it hasn't quite gotten through. Just because something correlates or it goes along with, the statistics happen to sort of be happening together at the same time, doesn't mean that one statistic or one fact necessarily caused the other thing to happen. Thank you for the call tonight, Sarah. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. Look, college is getting more expensive over time, and because more people get college degrees, it makes the college degree worth less because, well, if everybody's got a college degree, that doesn't really differentiate one person from another. And further, young people are, I hope, realizing that college is just a ridiculous debt load that they're going to have to deal with for the rest of their lives. I think more people are hearing the stories about, let's say, an older brother or sister who went into a college and then came out with $100,000 in debt, and now they're waiting tables as they're trying to get a job in the area in which they studied, or maybe they studied in an area that there aren't really even any jobs at all, or that you have to work for as a teacher or something like that. So it's nearly impossible to break into whatever the field is. There's plenty of people with these college degrees that are just absolutely worthless. You wouldn't even want to,
Right. There are people with master's degrees that are waiting tables.
That's right. And that means they have to pay off their college debt by waiting tables.
Right.
And that's going to be a very impoverished lifestyle. If you'd taken that $100,000 and invested it into a business or a home, the safe route would be to invest it into a home so you don't have to pay rent for the next, decade or whatever, if you want to stay where you are or whatever. If you invested into a business, obviously you could lose that business. You could fail at the business, but you'd have a better chance than just having to be a wage slave for your entire life working at some crap can job.
Right. And there's a website that I love going to whenever somebody will bring up some sort of weird thing and be like, these two things correlate, so therefore they're connected. There's a website of spurious correlations, and top one that they have, U.S. spending on science, space, and technology correlates at a 99.79% over the last 11 years with suicides by hanging, strangulation, and suffocation.
So the suggestion is the higher the spending on science curriculum, the more suicides.
I'm looking at the chart right now, and the two things go up at about the same rate, and it correlates from 1999 to 2009, correlates 99.79%.
But as we explained to Sarah for the 50th time, correlation is not causation. It's
per
not
capita
proof.
cheese consumption correlates at 95% with the number of people who died by becoming tangled in bed sheets.
The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We can talk more about Cosmo, a.k.a. the shooter, or the alleged shooter in Baton Rouge, on the way on Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. His real name is Gavin. It's Free Talk Live.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Hi folks, GetTheTea.com is the place where the popular Life Change tea calls home. But did you know Get the Tea is also where you can purchase GMO-free organic supplements? You can read about their potent power at GetTheTea.com. Also, they just added a YouTube channel called Health Matters Now. That's Health Matters Now. Education about our health can be a life change. Maybe that's why our famous tea is called Life Change Tea. Learn about the trees for life. Our supplements have no fillers, no wheat, no rice, no garbage. And our tea is wow to the body. Make a conscious health change. Educate yourself on the most powerful essence of life, which is your health. You want more? Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Or visit our YouTube channel at Health Matters Now. That's Health Matters Now. And don't forget our fabulous mild detox tea at GetTheTea.com.
Are you a political activist who does things that the government might not like? Then this free ebook may save your life. Rats is your guide to protecting yourself against snitches, informers, informants, agents provocateur, narcs, finks, and similar vermin. Rats was written by OG libertarian Claire Wolfe. Rats is a short book, easy to read, and available free in many formats. Download Rats free at rats-nosnitch.com. That's rats-nosnitch.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
While waiting to interview for a web consultant position with local marketing firm Bizco, applicant Ryan Ehrlich told Onion reporters he wasn't entirely sure he was dynamic enough for his prospective employer.
When I first saw that the agency was looking for a leader willing to contribute as a valued member of the team, I thought it was the perfect fit. But the more I think about it, the less I'm sure I'm actually an energetic self-starter. I mean, I think I'm a versatile independent thinker, but honestly, how do you even know for sure?
Ehrlich, who found Bizco's online job posting earlier this week, went on to express doubts that he truly possesses the forward-thinking instincts and next-generation idea assets required to work with the fast-paced marketing firm's team of self-starters.
Can I reimagine a brand for a digital landscape? Sure, but do I really have the energy, skills, enthusiasm, and passion to be a part of this dynamic, growth-oriented company? I just don't know. Oh God, who am I kidding? There's no way I'm on the cutting edge.
This is the Onion News Network.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live, the live Sunday edition of the program. You are invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. And with you in studio, it's Ian.
And Darryl.
And don't forget, you can join us in real life at the upcoming Hemp Fest in New Hampshire. It's happening at Rouge Campground. Absolutely fantastic location to spend any amount of time. In this particular case, it's August 25th through the 28th. So a long weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, packed full of music. Hempfest is a big party for the entire weekend. I'm excited. It's going to be my first New Hampshire Hempfest. It's the third one they've ever held. It's the first one ever at Rouge Campground, which is one of my favorite places to go and spend time. I'm really excited that we're going to have the pleasure of broadcasting live from the event. And if you want to join us, come on out. Go to nhhempfest.com. You can learn more about the event there. I believe you can still grab tickets online. You do need to get the VIP ticket in order to see us broadcast live. It's not that much more for VIP. If you can't afford VIP, don't worry. We're still going to be hanging out there all weekend long. I'll be working a Liberty outreach tent. That's my plan for most of the weekend, and then broadcasting at night. So you can join us in real life, August 25th through the 28th, nhhempfest.com. As we continue, hear more about the alleged shooter He calls himself online, his online personality on his YouTube channel, and also the books that he's written. Cosmo is his name. You're seeing news about him as the alleged shooter, Gavin Eugene Long. The story over at Heavy.com is entitled 5 Fast Facts You Need to Know, as people are just beginning to learn about the 29-year-old man whose birthday is today. He went out on his birthday, allegedly, and shot some police to death in a town that he's never lived, Baton Rouge. He apparently traveled there from his home in Kansas City. We're going to go to your calls and thoughts. You can join us here about whatever's on your mind. It's Bruce in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Bruce.
Howdy.
Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, I was thinking about, because back in the day, right, everybody used to do lines and this and that, and I was thinking about people that are doing like HGH. It seems like because you can get HGH, right? Or
I don't know anything about how you get those things, but go ahead.
Well, you can stuff anything on the dark web.
Well, that's true.
I've actually looked for HGH
on the dark web.
On the dark web, not because I wanted to take it, but just to see if I could find it, and I can't even find it on the dark web.
I was thinking about doing some.
Is it like a scheduled narcotic or
HGH is human growth hormone, so
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
why-
a narcotic, but
Is
it's
it restricted?
a performance enhancing substance. So if you're an athlete and you use it, then you will wind up getting suspended from
If they
Major
catch
League
you.
Baseball or the National Football League or any of these
Well,
sports
Dad,
leagues.
Speaking of the Tour de France, right? Supposedly everybody's doping. Okay, so I was watching Leslie Stahl, and then Don, this other cat. So what if they're jacking on HGH and they're just going to go, we're going to rule the world, man?
I don't know, dude. I have no idea what that has to do with anything.
Well,
Human growth hormone helps you recover from an injury faster.
It doesn't make you want to rule the world.
It doesn't give you a high. It doesn't, make you want to rule the world. It helps you recover from injuries faster, and it is considered to give you an unfair advantage over somebody that's not taking HGH or even Tylenol at extra strength.
I know plenty of people who are in the drug underground, Bruce, and I can't say I've ever heard a single one of them say they were interested in taking HGH as some sort of mood-altering substance. Thank you for the call. Good luck out there.
If anything, it would be closer to a steroid than a mood-altering substance.
Let's continue here. Well, from what we've seen, there is roid rage, and that is, I would consider mood altering. But whether HGH has those factors, I don't know enough about it. Let's go to Joan. She's in North Carolina. You're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Darryl on the Live Sunday edition. Go ahead, Joan.
Hi. I explained to the call screener that I've never called a talk show before.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. I listen to talk radio quite a bit, but this is the first time that I think I've ever heard your show. And what I found a little bit strange to me was the very lighthearted tone that you both are taking about the murder of 3 fellow human beings, and I don't understand.
Now, where do you feel like there was a lighthearted tone? I don't think I've danced on anyone's grave here tonight, so I'm not sure what you believe you heard.
It just sounded all very flippant to me. The talk about this man Cosmo. I have not been home.
Well, we played the audio from one of his YouTube videos where he says, don't affiliate me with anyone. And it's, our interpretation of that was that he was leaving this message for people who would find his YouTube channel after his attack.
And I said I thought it was odd that he sounded very angry but had slow jazz playing in the background, which is generally something that you play as like a mood relaxing sort of music.
But I don't think we've done anything to celebrate the deaths of the officers.
No,
in this case.
we've never celebrated deaths of anybody.
Well, that's the way I feel. I just don't celebrate the death of anybody that doesn't seem to have done anything, to threaten anyone else. Or,
Well, I mean, officers threaten people all the time. That's basically their job. So, I mean, that part I'll disagree with you on, but I don't think that that violence is the solution. I don't agree with the shooter and the people that support him, the people that support shooting the police. I don't think that's the solution to the problem of the police. And the police are a problem. They are the greatest threat to our freedom. They are an oppressive force. They are the hand of tyranny. I mean, that's all true about the police. So I'm certainly no fan of much of the job that they do. I do appreciate the police when they actually go after and arrest real criminals who actually hurt other people. But when the police are taking people and putting them in handcuffs for possession of a plant or possession of a chemical or possession of a bottle, under a certain age or whatever, then I have a problem.
Selling things without a permit.
Right. Then I've got a big problem with what they're doing. But again, I don't support violence as a solution. So no, if you felt like we were being flipped tonight, then, you might have misinterpreted what we were saying. We were just simply looking into the alleged shooter and who he is so we can learn about him.
I have a better understanding of where you're coming from because you see police as oppressive. I think some police are, and obviously we're very different generations. I'm in my 80s. I don't feel that any society can function without any kind of policing. And when you talked about, I don't believe that people should be jailed for possession of weed, etc. But if it's on the books as a law, I think the police are supposed to enforce laws. I think if they use violence to enforce those laws, which occasionally they do, you seem to think it's constant.
No, by its very nature, enforcement of laws is going to be violent.
Well, that's because if you don't do what they say, they'll go ahead and put you in handcuffs by force.
Right. If they say, stop doing fill in the blank, and you say, no, I'm not hurting anybody, then they will attempt to arrest you, and if you don't assist them in putting you in handcuffs, they might possibly kill you.
Well, I've had different experiences. I have a son who's 60 who has autism and has had it all his life. But he's had issues where he had to be stopped by the police because of things he did that were unlawful, but he, with his mental condition, would not always understand. And I've had them bring him home to me and be very kind.
Well, that is good. It's very nice when you find an officer who is kind and acts like a human being rather than a robotic automaton who mindlessly enforces the law. Thanks, Joan. 855-450-FREE. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
The root cause of most of society's ills is neither malice nor negligence, but a mere superstition, an unquestioned assumption which has been accepted on faith by nearly everyone of all ages, races, religions, education, and income levels. The Most Dangerous Superstition by Larkin Rose exposes the myth for what it is, showing how nearly everyone, as a result of one particular unquestioned assumption, is directly contributing to violence and oppression without even realizing it. Find The Most Dangerous Superstition on Amazon and larkinrose.com.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common-sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
This is your Roberts & Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. In early trading Friday, gold is $10 lower at $1,325 per ounce, and silver is 21 cents lower at $20.13 per ounce. Bitcoin is currently trading at $661 US. Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been helping clients buying and selling precious metals for nearly 40 years. For more information, give us a call at 800-874-9760 or visit us online at rrbi.co.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us on the radio waves here, toll free, 855-450-FREE. We are in the live Sunday edition of the program. Obviously, big news today about the police being shot in Baton Rouge by a man who appears to have come to town specifically for that purpose. He apparently was living in Missouri and then actually went to Dallas right around the same time the shooting happened in Dallas. I had just begun watching another one of his videos on his YouTube channel called I Am Cosmo. The video in this case is entitled Convos with Cosmo on Protesting Oppression and How to Deal with Bullies. It's about a 9-minute long video. And he's recording it from a hotel room in Dallas. He says that he just so happened to come to Dallas right after the shooting had occurred. So presumably there's going to be quite a bit of commentary in the video about his opinion about that. Of course, we're talking about the man who allegedly shot to death 3 cops today in Baton Rouge. His name in real life is Gavin Eugene Long. His YouTube pseudonym and his author, the name for his books, is Cosmo Setepinera. You can join us here at 855-450-FREE. Paul is on the line in California. You're on Free Talk Live on the live Sunday edition. Hey, Paul.
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
Hey, great. Go ahead with your thoughts, Paul.
Great. Hey, and I just want to say I've been listening for years. It's my first time calling in, but thank you guys for sort of cluing me into the ideas of liberty, and it's changed the way I think and act, and good on you. But I have jury duty tomorrow. I got to show up for selection, and I haven't been called for jury duty since I was in my early 20s, and I'm 36 now, and I'm wondering, do you think I should bring in some jury nullification info cards to pass out? Should I answer questions in such a way to try to get selected? I mean, I'm not sure what the case is going to be or what it's about, but I'm thinking maybe I have a civic duty to go inform people since I'm going to be there.
Well, one thing you shouldn't do is tell lies on the questionnaire. You don't want to be charged with perjury for doing that. So you want to try, if you want to get on the jury, you want to try to get on the jury without actually telling a lie about your beliefs, because you never know what the questions are going to be.
And if you're inside the courthouse passing out literature, then we know that they've got this rule in Keene courts that you're not allowed to distribute literature.
Yeah, but they made that specifically for me.
They've written it in such a way as to where if you hand a piece of paper to the bailiff, you're technically in violation.
Yeah.
We don't know if something similar exists, in other states.
Well, it certainly doesn't.
That says that you can't distribute literature.
Well,
so if you are distributing in the courthouse, they could come up with something to charge you with and wind up arresting you.
Well, in the case of Keene, New Hampshire, which you're mentioning here, Darryl, they made that specifically for me because I went there and started handing out flyers as soon as they opened the new courthouse building.
Right.
And then they put that judge's order up on the front door. That thing's on the front door of the building, so there's plenty of notice there for anybody that wants to read it. You could argue that you weren't given notice of that particular rule if they did try to enforce something like that where you are in California. But further, that rule doesn't exist in the other courts of New Hampshire. It's only a rule for Keene District Court. So recently I was at the Salem District Court to accompany Rich, Paul, and Bud, a couple of our other co-hosts, on a couple cannabis possession charges, and I had no trouble whatsoever handing out flyers right in front of the bailiffs inside the courtroom and outside of the courtroom, and generally at other courthouses I don't have any issue. In New Hampshire,
right.
In Massachusetts, they get a little more uppity about handing things out to people, but I've still done it there as well.
Right, and we've heard from people that in other states they don't allow you to bring any literature at all into the court.
Yep, that's true. So your mileage may vary. It just all depends on the local court rules or the state rules.
And again, you have to answer the question for yourself of whether you want to actually try to get on the jury or if you want to do everything you can to not be selected. I can't answer the question for you. You've got to answer that for yourself.
I kind of want to see what the case is going to be before I make that decision, because if it's somebody that's some kind of a brutal murderer that I would like to see off the streets, I'd rather just save my time and the effort. And but if it's like a cannabis charge, which here in Santa Cruz could be very likely, if it's some kind of a cannabis growing charge, I would like to not see anybody go to jail over something like that. And maybe it would be worth my time to try to help somebody out like that.
But even if it is a murder charge, just because the guy has been arrested does not necessarily mean he actually did it.
That's true.
True. That's true. That's a good point. So,
Well, if you don't want to get on a jury, one sure way to not get picked is to show up with a bunch of jury nullification flyers to jury duty. It's very likely they're going to go ahead and reject you from there.
I thought maybe I'd wait if I came back for another day and bring a bunch in then. But I can it's a pretty simple concept. I think I could just verbally tell the other jurors about it if I were selected.
You could, but then you've got problems. So one of the things you don't generally want to do, and I'm not an attorney, but this is just me having read a lot about jury nullification. The folks over at the Fully Informed Jury Association would probably tell you this. If you're getting on a jury, you generally don't want to talk about jury nullification. You don't want to admit that you know about jury nullification and that you're trying to implement it. That's my understanding of what they've recommended. You just sort of want to go in there and nullify. And you probably don't want to use those words if you're actually sitting on a jury, if you're actually in a deliberation room. I forget what their reasoning was for that. You'll have to check out the Fully Informed Jury Association and read some of their documents that might...
Well, I figure because they don't want somebody that's going to be so easily fooled on the jury, or that's not going to be fooled. I think that's their reasoning for not wanting people who know jury nullification.
Yeah, basically you don't want to be outed as the jury nullification guy. So you have to figure out a way to explain jury nullification and the rights without actually using those terms, I think. But, that's just what the Fully Informed Jury Association, I think they suggested in one of their brochures at fija.org, FIJA.org. That's a great place to go brush up on, they've got a document about what to do in court, how to kind of handle the questionnaire that they might give you with questions about, what organizations do you belong to? How do you handle a question like that? They've got some specific suggestions there, and that's what I'd like to point you to. Let us know what ends up happening, Paul. Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. Your thoughts certainly welcome on the shootings today in Baton Rouge and the alleged shooter who is now dead at the hands of the police. Let's go to John. He is in Nevada on Skype. Hello, John. You're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Darryl.
Hi, guys.
Hey there.
About the shooting today in Baton Rouge, I don't know what happened there this morning. We don't have a very clear idea of how everything went down. But I think people should stay open to the idea that perhaps Gavin Long shot in self-defense, because police often aggress against individuals unjustifiably, and this could have been such a case.
Well, did you hear the audio earlier that we played? It's about a minute and a half long from his YouTube channel, where he claims he's not affiliated with anyone. The wording in the video makes it sound like he's sort of leaving that message to be found later on. It seems like he might be planning some sort of an attack where people would be looking back at his content and trying to learn about him. It's very interesting that he would do that, isn't it?
Well, I listened to that. I did hear it.
Yeah.
It didn't really sound that damning to me. First of all, if it turned out that this was the wrong person and the guy who made the video was still alive, then what would you think about that conclusion? I don't know. He may. I assume because he was in Baton Rouge, he was there because of the recent shootings that were there. But he could easily think that I'm going to go out there and open carry on the streets, and there's a good chance that police are going to aggress against me. Isn't that a likely scenario?
Yeah, that's a possibility. Generally, I don't support the use of violence against the police. So, even though you could claim that the police aggressed against him because he was open carrying a rifle of some sort, might have meant, now again, well, like you said, we don't know exactly what happened this morning, but presuming that's what occurred, I generally don't think that a shootout with the police is an appropriate response to them aggressing. I think that you need to keep the high ground and go to court and go through the process and not lower yourself to their level, which is the level of using violence.
Well, if it was a case where the police aggressed against him and he shot 3 cops and was brought up on trial and survived and was brought up on trial, well, how would you vote to convict him or acquit him if you thought that he acted in self-defense, that the police aggressed?
I would probably vote to acquit if he was defending himself, but ultimately that's not going to help him in the eyes of most of the public, because violence against the police tends to not be viewed very, very well, and it's ultimately not going to help any of the movements towards more peace. If you want to continue, John, you're welcome to. This is Free Talk Live. Hour 3 is on the way.
For Bitcoin to be ubiquitous, people need to use it. For people to use it, they must have it. How can we get Bitcoin into more hands? Well, tipping might be a great way. What if you could include a bonus Bitcoin tip along with your regular tip to a server? What if that Bitcoin returned to you if unclaimed after 30 days? An attractive business card-sized Bitcoin tip that is easily claimed, gives instructions on wallets, spending, and returns to the user if unused? Tip.freetalklive.com. Tip.freetalklive.com. Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. It's Bitcoin.com.
If you want to move to the free state and you're looking for some real estate.
Oof, I think we've all had enough of that jingle, don't you? If you're going to invest in property in New Hampshire, it just makes sense to support a Liberty-friendly realtor. Call Mark Warden of Team Porcupine Real Estate for investment property or rentals in the Free State, or visit his website. Come on, you know it.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, July 17th, 2016. Silver is trading at $20.30 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,338 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $673. Antiwar.com reports Britain's new Prime Minister, Theresa May, is in Scotland. An anti-Brexit Prime Minister trying to assure the anti-Brexit Scottish First Minister that no steps toward triggering Article 50 to withdraw from the European Union is imminent. Indeed, May insisted that Britain absolutely would not trigger Article 50 until there was a UK approach that had been agreed on in general accord around the United Kingdom, suggesting the strong opposition to the exit in both Scotland and Northern Ireland is likely to greatly slow matters. May told Scottish First Minister Nicola Sturgeon she is open to listening to options on how to proceed. Sturgeon had warned Scotland would have another secession referendum if the UK withdraws from the European Union and would attempt to become a member of the Union on its own. Some within the British government have suggested that their economic importance may allow them to keep some of the benefits of being a member of the European Economic Area without being a member of the EU itself, though EU nations seem split on whether that is even possible. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs offers premium publicity campaigns designed to facilitate an organization's adoption of Bitcoin as a payment system. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. To learn more, visit bitcoinnotbombs.com. UPI reports Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton pledged on Saturday she will introduce a constitutional amendment in her first month in office to overturn the Citizens United court decision that permits large corporations to make virtually unlimited campaign expenditures. While Clinton has said she opposes the Citizens United Supreme Court decision, her former primary opponent, Senator Bernie Sanders, made his opposition to it a centerpiece of his campaign. Sanders regularly pointed out his campaign refused the kinds of big corporate donations made legal under Citizens United, while Clinton benefited from aligned super PACs that took in millions from various corporate interests to help bolster her campaign. In the weeks since Clinton effectively captured the nomination, she has sought to win over Sanders supporters, some of whom have expressed skepticism that she shares his liberal ideals. Notably, she put forth a plan 2 weeks ago that would make public university tuition free for students whose families make less than $125,000 per year. Sanders made free college tuition another tentpole issue in his campaign. CNN reported a Clinton aide said the plan was a key plank of Clinton's plan to challenge the stranglehold that wealthy interests have over our political system and allow Americans to establish common sense rules to protect against the undue influence of billionaires and special interests and to restore the role of the average voter in elections. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports several destructive wildfires were raging across the southwestern United States on Saturday after consuming dozens of homes and forcing evacuations. Firefighters have gained the upper hand on a blaze burning in the sparsely populated and wooded community of Tiburon, New Mexico. That wildfire, which officials said was in the mop-up stage, had charred about 270 acres, destroyed 44 homes, and damaged or demolished an additional 24 structures since it was sparked on Wednesday. Firefighters in Colorado were facing facing a so-called red flag warning of low humidity and wind gusts of up to 30 miles per hour as they struggled to contain the 16,200-acre fire about 65 miles southwest of Colorado Springs. To the southwest in Arizona, firefighters aim to keep the 3,700-acre Fuller fire from reaching the highway that serves as a crucial artery in and out of the Grand Canyon National Park's North Rim. Low humidity and strong winds also plagued the 430 fire personnel battling that blaze, which broke out after a lightning strike on June 29th. Firefighters on Saturday focused on keeping the flames to the east of State Route Highway 67. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
A new report from the Department of Health and Human Services urges Americans to do something, anything at all. According to the study, getting off your ass and doing any sort of physical or mental activity could have positive health effects.
Look, we're not expecting you to go to the gym. That's clearly not happening. Just walk outside for a few blocks and then come back home. You can bring potato chips if that's what it'll take.
For many years, the health department has encouraged Americans to watch less TV, but this report reverses that, saying, quote, watch whatever the hell you want, but at least pay attention and remember who the characters are, or just admire the colors. Colors are pretty. It's expected that following the advice in this report will cut down on the largest cause of death among Americans, laying on your back until your mouth fills up with saliva and you drown. Following the report's release, the most popular exercise now seems to be masturbating, but researchers warn that if you do it in public, stick to the sidewalk or you might get hit by cars.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of the program. You're invited to join us on the radio here. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. With you in studio, it's Ian.
And Darryl.
We've been talking about the alleged shooter in Baton Rouge from this morning. 3 cops are dead. Another, at least 3 cops were injured, apparently, as a man named Gavin Eugene Long has been singled out as the alleged shooter. He is now dead, and he left behind a YouTube channel as well as a few books. And we've been sharing some of the content from his YouTube channel in an attempt to learn a little bit more about him. We're going to continue with that. I've got another clip that's related that was recorded from him sitting in a Dallas hotel room shortly after the Dallas shootings last week, where I think, 5 cops were shot to death?
5 were killed. Another 7 were wounded, I believe, in Dallas.
We've got John on the line, though. He held over from hour number 2, and I just wanted to make sure he got a chance to get his thoughts out here. John, you were speculating that the alleged shooter may have been defending himself against a police attack. And as you pointed out, we don't know exactly what transpired. There are reports claiming that police were responding to a report of a man with an assault rifle, and he allegedly was wearing body armor at the time. So certainly toting an assault rifle and wearing body armor is going to get you attention from police in most places. Whether he had intended to go out and shoot the police or not, I think that it certainly looks like he might have had that intention based on what he was wearing, how he was dressed, and the content of his YouTube channel. But please go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, I just think we should be open to the possibility that this is in self-defense. I mean, if you listen to the news on the TV or the radio on most stations, it's just going to be an open and shut case that, well, of course, the police were defending themselves, and this man was their attacker. But, I think a lot of libertarians know that police are often the aggressors. Now, maybe, it's perfectly reasonable that maybe he did go out to just start shooting at cops the first second he saw them today.
And some people, John, would say that would be self-defense based on this very broad definition of self-defense, whereas you can preemptively defend yourself against somebody that might aggress against you in the future. That's not what you're necessarily saying, correct?
No, that's not what I'm care to defend at this minute.
Okay.
But he could easily be out there, as a sort of one-man demonstration, figuring that the idea that the police are going to aggress against me is a very live option, which I think is a reasonable consideration. Now, I don't know what was in his head today, but I just think that people should not necessarily accept the police's characterization of what happened. They should be open to the possibility that the police are the aggressors.
Well, the police are definitely aggressors. However, in the times that I was arrested, if I had decided to get into a shooting war with the police over their aggression, you and I probably wouldn't be talking right now.
Correct.
No, you probably wouldn't be talking. But on the other hand, if the police are already shooting at you, Ian, then maybe shooting back is the best option you have left in a given situation.
Thanks for the call, John. Appreciate it. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. But even in that situation that he was describing there, this theoretical police are already shooting at you, so what do you do situation, well, yeah, you can shoot back, obviously, and that might last, you might be able to last a few hours longer after that, because if you manage to get out of that situation by shooting the police, well, guess what? They're going to send 100 more after you at that point. And if they don't catch you with 100 more, they'll send 200 more. And eventually they're going to come and find you. Right. And you are not going to likely ever get to say hello or goodbye to anyone else ever again at that point. So I don't know. If the police are shooting at me, it might actually be better for me to turn a gun on myself rather than have a shootout with the cops. Because at least if there's some sort of witness, if there's some kind of video, then they would know that it wasn't me who was shooting at the police, that that I did not shoot back. And, I'm interested in the long-term prospects of liberty, and I don't think that killing the cops is going to help the long-term prospects for liberty.
Right, and we had touched on this article from the Free Thought Project after the shootings in Dallas, and I think it's worth mentioning again. And, again, it's a lengthy article, but let me just read a little bit here.
It's about violence, please.
Right, about violence. If anyone thinks that killing cops or praising the death of innocent people will amass public opinion in their favor, they are seriously delusional. Mm-hmm. They also say if a group of people rise up and claim to be freedom fighters and they don't have the support of the citizens behind them, well, their revolution is over before it ever began.
Look at the people who went to the Malheur Federal Wildlife Refuge earlier this year. They stayed there for a while, but they didn't grow in numbers. They didn't have the people behind them. They kept talking about how they had backup coming, but their backup never showed up.
Right.
Let's continue with your calls and thoughts. We've got Ricky. He's on the line in Pennsylvania.
The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I mention it so he doesn't have to.
There you go, Ricky. You're on the air. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Brother Ian. Thank you, Brother Darryl.
Go ahead with your thoughts.
That was only meant as a tease for your screener. That was not what I was going to talk about. The reason why I cannot amp is because my bank is being taken over by the Fed. It is a Commonwealth bank. I will break the story on your show after the takeover is complete. I'm trying to stop it. That'll be after Tuesday at 11. I may have to transfer all of my accounts. That's not what I'm talking about tonight. I want to talk about Cosmo and the little reality check on the callers. Pardon me, I've been working very hard lately.
Okay, here you are. Go ahead.
Thank you. There was a caller earlier, wants to bring back the Republic. Well, in the old Republic, namely Rage in Rome, he would have been guilty of treason, and he would have been crucified in his hometown.
You're talking about the guy who called earlier in the show who was claiming that states and the cities are corporations and that there's some sort of legal mumbo-jumbo that you can utter to get out of court trials and things like that.
Edward Snowden is guilty by his own words, but for breaking his oath. I would never break an oath. My left hand, my calluses are just now healing. I would never break my oath.
I don't
Because
get
I'm
it.
in
What
bug
is your callous?
I'm in bug squashing mode right now after hearing the second caller who vindicated racism. Now, on to tonight. Cosmo. Now, Cosmo, the spiritual man, well, obviously doesn't know very much about the spirit because he just wrote himself out of the book of life, because that is the one thing that will write you out of it. I myself am not a Christian because I do not want to be associated with Christians.
Apparently, he used to be a Christian as well as a member of the Nation of Islam. So when you say you write yourself out of the book of life, you mean by suicide by cop kind of thing? Or what are you saying there?
His own life. He committed a sin against the spirit by destroying another and himself. He's confused.
He was confused. I'm with you on that much, Ricky. Thanks for the call tonight. Toll-free number's 855-450-FREE.
I think Ricky is trying to say that this guy will not be going to heaven because of the sins he committed at, basically his final breath.
Well, I agree with him that he is confused spiritually. I mean, he seems to be a walking contradiction. We talked about the viewpoint that he's expressing on some of his books. The smooth jazz music behind his somewhat frustrated, maybe angry rants on his YouTube channel. A man who's very, very conflicted, who wants to be spiritual and connected with spirituality, but yet then commits murder. So I think Ricky was right about that. You can join us here at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-FREE. Or maybe it was self-defense, as John suggested, but either way, still not a good idea.
Every once in a while, you get information that's worth changing your life for. This is one such time. You can save up to and beyond 25% on all purchases at Amazon. You probably heard of Bitcoin and just not thought much about it. You certainly know that you can get competitive pricing at Amazon, but now you can get a 25% discount on nearly everything you need to live. I've just given you a huge raise, and all you have to do is claim it. You go to saveitpurse.com and open an account. Do this right now. Don't wait. Then you fund the account with Bitcoin. You can buy them through expresscoin.com with a check or money order. There are other ways to get Bitcoin, but that's fast, safe, and easy. This information is worth you changing the way you do things. Go to saveitpurse.com right now, get signed up, and cash in on the huge raise I'm offering you. 15 to 25% off of everything at Amazon through saveitpurse.com. It's saveatpurse.com.
My computer is so slow, it's making me crazy.
I used to have that problem.
Did you quit using a computer, or did you buy a new one?
No, I called Geeks On Site. They made an appointment to visit my home and showed up the same day.
You mean they didn't ask you to bring your computer to a shop? That's what happened when I called a support company.
Geeks On Site can go to your home or business or even repair your computer online. They have 24/7 emergency service.
If you are having problems with your PC or Mac, call Geeks On Site, 1-800-591-1682. Our friendly certified computer repair experts are available 24/7. Call now for a free diagnosis, 1-800-591-1682. Data recovery, virus removal, and maintenance for all laptops, desktops, printers, and networks. That's Geeks On Site for friendly certified computer repair experts, available 24/7 over the phone or in your home or business. Just call 1-800-591-1682. That's 1-800-591-1682, 1-800-591-1682.
Phone records, financial and location data, Prism, Tempora, X-Keyscore, Boundless Informant. Hey y'all, Scott Horton here for offnow.org. Now here's the deal. Due to the Snowden revelations, we have a great opportunity for a short period of time to get some real rollback of the national surveillance state. Now they're already trying to tire us by introducing fake reforms in the Congress. And the courts, they betrayed their sworn oaths to the Constitution and Bill of Rights again and again, and can in no way be trusted to stop the abuses for us. We've got to do it ourselves. How? We nullify it at the state level. It's still not easy, but the Off Now project of the 10th Amendment Center has gotten off to a great start. I mean it. There's real reason to be optimistic here. They've gotten their model legislation introduced all over the place, in state after state. I've lost count, more than a dozen. You're always wondering, yeah, but what can we do? Here's something important, something that can work if we do the work. Get started cutting off the NSA support in your state. Go to offnow.org.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices.
Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for lrn.fm in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to lrn.fm. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You may join us on the radio here, live Sunday edition continuing. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733 as people are learning more about the alleged shooter in Baton Rouge this morning. Cosmo was his stage name, his YouTube channel called I Am Cosmo. His real-life name, Gavin. He is the alleged shooter, Gavin Eugene Long, not originally from Baton Rouge. No evidence he's lived in Baton Rouge. It appears he might have come there for the purpose of killing police, but one of our callers earlier said, hey, be careful, don't believe everything the police say. Maybe he was just there wearing body armor and an assault rifle because he wanted to protest and knew the police were going to mess with him, and he wanted to get into a defensive fight against the police. It seems like a stretch because, even if that was the case, I still don't support that solution. I don't support using violence as your method of getting even or, evening the odds between the police or the people. It seems like he went there for the purpose of killing cops. That's the way it looks. Now, again, maybe that's completely wrong, but that's based on seeing some of the things he said on his YouTube channel, where he has a video that essentially says, hey, I'm not affiliated with anyone. I'm not with ISIS. I'm not with the Nation of Islam. I'm not with, the Christians. He goes through a list of things that he's not with. He says he's on the side of justice, and it certainly sounds like he was looking to get even for what happened in Baton Rouge a few weeks ago, where the police basically murdered somebody. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. You can join us here, and you can bring up anything that's on your mind. Let's go and continue with your calls and thoughts. Also, want to remind you about our satellite fundraiser. It's going on right now at fund.lrn.fm. We got about a month to go in this fundraiser. We've had several contributions so far, and sure would appreciate yours if you appreciate our mission of spreading the ideas of liberty and peace as far and as wide around the world as we possibly can. The satellite signals that we're on help us accomplish that. If you think that that's valuable, providing the ideas of liberty and peace to people globally, then please get behind our satellite fundraiser. There are some perks available for you. It's an Indiegogo-based fundraiser. You can go to fund.lrn.fm to help us out with that. Once again, that's fund.lrn.fm. Really appreciate the help, whether it's $5 or $50 or whatever you can afford to give. I certainly do appreciate it. Let's talk to James in Arizona. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, James.
Minister Perry, I couldn't help but be amused. But I just heard you tell a lovely-sounding spot-on lady named Joan your claim, we don't celebrate the death of anybody. Well, to wit, I was instantly reminded of the sickest thing I've ever heard on so-called Free Talk Live. Your fellow minister, who you were sitting right next to, Mark Edge, once said to me on one
Mark's
of the
not in the studio.
One of the very first times I ever called your show, Mark Edge said to me, the fact of the matter is the people in the Pentagon deserved it.
That was not something that I said, James, and you admit that I did not say that.
I said you were sitting right next to him, And of course, there was absolutely
right. My
no
comment was, I do not celebrate death, and you're trying to attribute something that Mark said that you admitted that Mark said.
You said we, and I used the word absolute direct quote. But the point is, Minister Perry, you didn't condemn your fellow minister for celebrating the mass murder of human beings, victims of an innocent drone strike, by the way. There were people on Flight 77 that were breathing until it flew into a building. Again, just to make a similar point, Minister Perry, about how you guys are, why you're not ministers, and how you're liars to me. But then again,
you're just an angry man, and you like to dehumanize people, and you like to pick apart things that people say.
Let me respond to that then. Because one of the first times, literally in the same call that I'm referring to, Minister Perry, you accused me of wanting to nuke the Middle East because I condoned drone strikes of hateful imam preachers that preach death to infidels, and they literally have millions of followers. So you instantly accuse me of wanting to nuke the Middle East, and you claim, like in that same week, Ian Freeman claimed that I believe all Muslims are bad, that I'm an anti-Muslim bigot, that I want to see all Muslims killed. Of course I don't want mass murder. I don't celebrate it ever, but you guys are the bigots. You guys make outlandish claims about me and then don't say you're sorry, don't apologize, and then claim I'm angry. You're damn right I'm angry. When people lie about me like that on the public airwaves, it does make me angry, Minister Perry.
We generally don't talk about you unless you actually call into the show. Thanks for the call, James. Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. Why would we talk about such a boring bastard?
I don't know. He does like to dehumanize people.
Well, and you know what he just said, that he supported drone strikes against imams, which sounds to me, if he's going to accuse Mark of saying that the people in the Pentagon deserved it, was somehow celebrating their deaths, then is James also celebrating death by supporting drone strikes against people in the Middle East? I don't know if, and again, Mark's not in the studio to defend or speak about what he said, but I don't know if I consider saying so-and-so deserved to die is the same thing as celebrating that person's death. I'd say it skirts the line. There's an argument that can be made maybe on both sides. So I think there is an argument from James's perspective there, but also to say that somebody deserved to perish doesn't necessarily mean that you're dancing on their grave. Does it?
I don't think so.
Let's continue here. You can join us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. But, you know, people aren't perfect. Our show hosts aren't perfect. Just because we're ministers doesn't mean we're perfect human beings. And whether or not you recognize our ministerial duties is certainly your choice, James. But it doesn't make us any less of a minister because you don't believe in it. Our toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. Join us on our website over at freetalklive.com. You know, something I do want to talk about tonight, besides the alleged shooter in Baton Rouge, is the scene in Venezuela, or should I say the scene in Colombia. There's a fascinating story out today about...
Before we talk about that, can we actually talk about Cleveland for a moment?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Because that's where the Republican convention starts tomorrow,
right,
I believe.
Ademo Freeman from copblock.org is already on the scene.
And the police chief or someone from the police association, give me a second to pull up to get the exact title of this person. The president of the Cleveland Police Patrolmen's Association sent a letter to Governor John Kasich, quote, requesting assistance from him. He could be very easily do some things of executive order or something. Quote, I don't care if it's constitutional or not at this point. He wants the governor to do something about open carry that is currently allowed in Ohio, and claims to support the Constitution but doesn't care if what the governor does is legal or not.
Is that story from Truth Voice?
No, this is from UPI.
Okay, I've got one from Truth Voice about the same thing here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. You can join us. This is Free Talk Live.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at SurvivorMax.com.
Free Talk Live has partnered with Amazon, the largest internet retailer. Imagine a department store category, and Amazon has it. Books, electronics, office products, furniture, jewelry, automotive, toys, clothing, sporting goods, and dozens of other categories. Now you can shop and support Free Talk Live by entering Amazon through our website. Go to shop.freetalklive.com, and Amazon will send us a portion of your purchase. You're going to do the shopping anyway, so remember to enter through our site at shop.freetalklive.com. That's shop.freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, the third hour of the program. You can bring up whatever you want. We still have time for you. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. You can check it out at your leisure. It's available to watch for free online anytime you want over at victimlesscrimespree.com. Very, very entertaining. At the same time, horrifying and outrageous. and sad. It'll make you feel different emotions. Hopefully. I know it did for me. I think it's a really good movie. You can check it out for yourself. Totally free. I happen to be the executive producer of it. Very, very proud to have been involved in that. And it's now been out for about 4 years. We're coming up in a couple months from now on the 4-year anniversary for Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. So see it if you haven't yet. Victimlesscrimespree.com. As we continue, we'll, of course, take your calls about anything that's on your mind. There's a fascinating story out of Venezuela and Colombia today. The Associated Press reporting that more than 100,000 Venezuelans, some of whom drove through the night in caravans, have crossed into Colombia over this weekend to hunt for food and medicine that are in short supply at home. It was the second weekend in a row that Venezuela's socialist government opened the long-closed border with Colombia, and by 6 a.m. today, Sunday, a line of would-be shoppers snaked through the entire town of San Antonio del Táchira. Some had traveled in chartered buses from cities as far as 10 hours away.
Wow.
Why is this happening? The photos of the crossings at the bridge, one of the bridges between Venezuela and Colombia, are just absolutely fantastic. They're amazing. Crowd, just a huge thronging mass of people crossing the bridge into Colombia so they can go and get some damn food. Because for anybody who hasn't been paying attention to Venezuela over the last several years, you've really missed an amazing sight in a horrifying sort of an amazing way.
Yeah.
Like a
that
train wreck.
Sort of slow motion. Very, very slow motion, as in it's taking years for it to fall off the tracks.
Correct. And so basically what you have is the failure of socialism. This is the current failed state in the world, and it's interesting to watch. It's tragic for the people who are involved. But it is an educational experience for anybody who's paying attention. Essentially, you've got a government that has a government-set rate of exchange for currency. They have decided that the Bolivar
Fuerte.
Right, the strong Bolivar, which replaced the original Bolivar like 10 or 15 years ago, and has been just inflated to the point of hyperinflation since then.
Well, we don't know if it's hyperinflation because hyperinflation has a specific definition that inflation has to hit a certain percentage. And, well, the Venezuelan government just stopped tabulating inflation rate before they hit the hyperinflation mark.
Well, I would say it's hyperinflation.
Suspect it most likely is.
There was a guy who built a sandwich in Venezuela and 1 week, and he wrote down the prices of everything that went into the sandwich, and then the next week built the same sandwich with the same ingredients and found the prices had doubled. So that's a pretty good indicator that you're looking at a hyperinflation situation.
Just not officially hyperinflation because the government isn't tabulating the numbers anymore.
It's unofficial hyperinflation. How about that? So you've got this government-enforced exchange rate of 10 to 1, meaning that you are supposed to be able to exchange 10 Bolivar Fuerte for $1 US.
Yes.
But the real rate of exchange is created by the black market because you can't mandate what the exchange rate actually is.
Well, and also you started to touch on something, but then you skipped over it where you said you're supposed to be able to exchange. Well, the government is not allowing people to go to exchange locations to exchange U.S. dollars for Bolivar Fuerte and vice versa.
Well, actually, you can
except
exchange
in very specific circumstances.
Well, no, you can exchange the dollar for Bolivars at a bank. So you can go and take $1 US into a bank in Venezuela if you're an insane person.
Not vice versa.
Correct. If you are completely dumb or insane, you can go and change $1 into 10 Bolivar Fuerte at a bank. You cannot change Bolivar Fuerte into dollars at the bank. But if you were to do that, you'd be crazy because you could go on the streets and exchange $1 US and get 1,000 if you knew the right people. Bolivar Fuerte.
According to Dollar Today, I think it's close to 12 or 1,300 Bolivar Fuerte.
It's down to 1,010. So 1,010 is the current black market exchange rate. So about 100 times what the official exchange rate is. And this official exchange rate wreaks all kinds of havoc on the economy because it basically means that people who want to do business in Venezuela can't do it because their suppliers of products want to take real money that's going to actually be worth something in the world, and the Bolivar Fuerte isn't worth anything, and so they want to be paid in U.S. dollars, but you can't get U.S. dollars if you're working in the legal marketplace, so you can't go and get a pallet full of toilet paper to sell at your grocery store.
Well, and the Venezuelan government can't even buy the bolivars from the printers that print the bolivars.
Yeah, at this point, it's gotten that bad. So, with that, we bring it back to today, where this weekend was the second weekend in a row where Venezuela opened the border with Colombia to allow people from Venezuela to cross into Colombia. Thankfully, the Colombian government welcomed them to do some shopping because they're starving. People are hungry. Their refrigerators are empty. The grocery stores are empty. Many of the grocery stores were nationalized by the Venezuelan government within the last decade under the Chavez and then the subsequent Maduro administrations. Venezuela's government closed all of the border crossings a year ago to supposedly crack down on smuggling along the 1,378-mile border. It complained that speculators were causing shortages by buying up subsidized food and gasoline in Venezuela and then taking them to Colombia, where they could be sold for far higher prices. But shortages have continued to mount in Venezuela amid triple-digit inflation, currency controls that have restricted imports, and investment in the world oil price slump that caused a collapse in the oil revenues that fund government spending. Although the border was heavily patrolled by Venezuelan troops, the crowds were mostly orderly amid an atmosphere of tense excitement. I mean, can you imagine how exciting it would be to actually be able to go and buy some food when you've been starving for, a year? Basically, you've been eating grass, slaughtering dogs and cats and, whatever else you can find in the streets, goats, just so you can survive. Imagine being able to go shopping after all that.
There's an article from the Wall Street Journal where they're actually interviewing people. A 62-year-old man says, "I'm looking for food for my children and my grandchildren." He was carrying rolls of toilet paper under one arm and pulling a suitcase filled with food. He says it's terrible to have to live like this at age 62. Another man, 36 years old, reeled off a list of things he was taking back to Venezuela: toilet paper, rice, flour, grains, toothpaste, cooking oil. It's humiliating what they're doing to us at home.
It's the basics. I mean, these people don't even have the most basic food staples. They have nothing. And so you have throngs of people crossing the border this weekend. The few activists did hand out anti-government pamphlets looking to galvanize the frustration that has characterized food riots and long lines outside of supermarkets in recent weeks. Some of those waiting to cross made anti-government chants and sang the national anthem. Seems a little confused, but there was no appetite for confrontation. They were focused on the prospect of getting at fully stocked supermarket shelves and the opportunity to buy even non-essential indulgences like nail polish and beer before the reclosing of the border crossings on Sunday night. It's kind of crazy day, says Alejandro Chacon, who owns a hardware store in the nearby town of San Cristobal and was crossing the border for the first time since the closure. He says it's strange to see this, but we know we're going to find what we want in Colombia, so it's a nice difference, unquote. Colombian officials dressed in white shirts individually welcomed those arriving, while police handed out cake and blasted out festive Vallenato tunes, the traditional music loved on both sides of the border. Roadside kiosks set up by entrepreneurs took payment in Venezuela's currency for goods at a steep discount from what they cost on the black market back home. 855-450-FREE, that's the toll-free number. All they had to do to help their people out was open the damn border so they could go shopping, but now they're closing it down after the end of the weekend, so hopefully they'll open it again next weekend.
People who can afford a LASIK procedure sure are lucky. Imagine being able to throw away your contacts and glasses. Imagine waking up tomorrow with 20/20 vision. Too bad everyone can't afford LASIK. Well, guess what? There's a company that agrees with you. TLC Laser Eye Centers is now offering great prices on high-quality LASIK to make it affordable for everyone. That means you get the latest FDA-approved all-laser LASIK technology for less than what others charge. And if you call right now, we'll schedule a free appointment so you can discover if LASIK is right for you. Results may vary. Call 1-800-930-9765. Even better, if you're one of the first 100 callers, ask about an extra $400 off your all-laser LASIK procedure. That's $200 off per eye. We've already performed over 2 million procedures. Let us help you. Discover how you can get the quality LASIK experience you deserve for less than what others charge. For your free appointment, call 1-800-930-9765. 1-800-930-9765.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Injury Help Desk is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention prescription antibiotic drug users. Have you or a loved one suffered an aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm after taking the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox? These popular antibiotic drugs have been prescribed more than 80 million times since 2004, and medical studies show an increased risk of the following injuries: aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, and abdominal aortic aneurysm. If you or a loved one used the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox and suffered from aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851.
If you're looking for work, you know the math. There are many more applicants than openings, so you need to stand out, not blend into the blah, blah, blah your interviewer is hearing from your competition. Here's a tip. In your interview, you will be judged more by the questions you ask than the answers you give. Yes, do anticipate the obvious job interview questions and prepare concise, insightful, glass-half-full sounding responses. And you should interview your interviewer. Seem genuinely curious about what will help get results. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. You want to cut through the clutter. For more tips for job seekers and making all the other conversations you have more productive, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Arcade City is a ride-sharing app built by drivers, not a mega corporation. As a driver with Arcade City, you can keep all of what you earn. Sign up now to drive for or ride with Arcade City at arcade.freetalklive.com. Arcade City is connecting drivers directly with riders and has been making headlines for disrupting the ride-sharing industry. Sign up now at arcade.freetalklive.com. That's arcade.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want. We're talking about the good news, a little bit of good news out of Venezuela, which has been an absolute socialist disaster. People are starving there because of the government and all the restrictions that they've placed on the economy, basically, really summarizing years of stories that we've been telling here about Venezuela into a couple of sentences. And so because there's basically no food, people are now being allowed to leave Venezuela, cross the border into Colombia during the weekend. For whatever reason, they're opening the border up on the weekend. This is the second weekend in a row that they've done it. And an estimated 35,000 Venezuelans, according to Colombian officials, crossed the border on Saturday. And an additional 88,000 entered today, as the mad rush into Colombia continues here on products like sugar and flour, leading to extra staples or extra supplies of staple goods being sent from other Colombian cities.
35,000 on Saturday.
That's right.
And according to the article that I'm reading, another 88,000 on Sunday.
That's what I just said, actually.
I didn't hear the 88,000 on Sunday.
Right, yeah, you were probably reading it as I was saying it. But yeah,
possibly.
It's pretty amazing. The photos are shocking. The bridge, I would be really worried about the bridge because it's literally packed with people. I mean, just a thronging mass of people crossing this bridge to get over there and just get some shopping done. It must be an amazing feeling. Rosa Cardenas, 70-year-old retired school teacher, says it's sad to be doing this, but we know over there we'll find something. She said as she was accompanied by her 5-month-old granddaughter. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has sought to deflate talk of a humanitarian crisis and instead blames his government's political enemies and self-serving smugglers for the shortages. He dismissed as a, quote, media show, unquote, the jarring images a few weeks ago of 500 women pushing through the border checkpoint, saying they were desperate to buy food. On Sunday, that's today, Venezuela's state television ran footage of Venezuelans returning from Colombia empty-handed, dissuaded by what they called price gouging and the threat of violence by their neighbors. So, what a very, very bizarre situation. On one hand, someone in the Venezuelan government decided, okay, our people are starving to death. Maybe we should open the border up and let them go and actually get some food from Colombia, where the food, there's plenty of food. The supermarkets are stocked. Everything's totally fine because it's not a completely oppressive socialist hellhole there.
Right.
And so let's just let people go and get some food. But then on the other hand, the state television channel is showing people returning empty-handed in a clear propaganda piece to, act like Colombians are mean, and this is all some sort of mean trick.
This is what capitalism does. Capitalism causes you to not be able to get fed.
When the reality is, and you've got quotes from people who went over there, the reality is they were able to go and get products at a good price. They weren't buying on the black market anymore. If you buy food in Venezuela, you're likely buying it from the black marketplace, and you're paying 10 times more than what you probably would pay if you could get it through the legal market. I know there was more that you could share. Let's go to Tony first, though. He's in New Jersey. And, Tony, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Darryl.
How you doing?
Hey,
I've
Tony.
called you before.
Yes, sir.
You got a great show.
Thanks.
Let me bring something to your attention. I need your perspective on this. The ancient philosopher Aristotle said the word telos. Did you ever study that word?
Kilos?
Yeah, the telos.
Papilos? Spell it, please.
I believe the Greek spelling is with a T, like in Tom, E-L-O-S, telos.
Telos or telos, okay.
What he said was the ability to choose what you want to do in life is not really that good. What's more important is that your telos is what your end good is for. Your purpose of what you were kind of coded to do in life. We all have a kind of talent. And if you don't follow that telos, then whatever you do will not produce an end good. So I was listening to a Harvard law professor named Michael, I believe his name was Sedell. He was teaching a law course, and he brought up Aristotle. And he kind of told the students that if you're not doing what you were really born to do, your purpose in life, and you just want the freedom to do what you want, and your end good don't come out what you could have done, more than likely there's a lot of people mistaking ambitions, no matter how successful they are. That's not what their end good purpose was. And nobody's teaching that. So you could be very free and lost. Very creative people can get very lost with their freedom if they don't have that kind of a connection to an end good.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from there. I did look it up. Telos or Telos, or however you pronounce it, It does come from the Greek for end, purpose, or goal in a fairly constrained sense used by philosophers such as Aristotle. It is the root of the term teleology, roughly the study of purposiveness. I see what you're saying, though, Tony. If you don't have an end goal in mind, then you may flit about, not really, accomplishing much with your freedom. I get where you're coming from. Are you
suggesting that everybody is supposed to have the same end goal?
No, I don't think so.
Or are you suggesting that, somehow if somebody is, say, a butterfly of sorts and they float about just following their curiosity, that even though butterflies and birds are essential for pollinating flowers, that somehow they aren't the same or somehow as productive as somebody that has a single focus?
Well, I'll give Michael Siddell's analogy that he used by Aristotle. If there were flutes to be given out, who should get the flutes? The people who you think could do the most good with it, who could play it the best? Aristotle said it should go to the ones who have the talent to play it. So everyone could play the flute, but what Aristotle's saying is we have to search for that's what life's all about, to find your purpose. Instead of looking for your selfish desire to do what you want, we all have a kind of a talent.
Well, okay, so from my brief study of Hinduism, there's different levels of sort of consciousness, if you will, by that belief system. My understanding of it, if you're a Hindu, please call, because you probably know better than I do. But the first level is the most base, or the basic level of self-indulgence, like you're talking about. And the Hindus say, by all means, indulge. Be a hedonist. Go ahead, experience these things. Flit about. Be that butterfly that Darryl was talking about. Maybe they need that experience to find themselves, to find out what it is that's more important to them. So I wouldn't detract from those people that are having that experience, because then they might move to the next level after that, which is more, I believe, is more of a sense of helping others and then helping the community. And I forget what there's like 3 other levels of consciousness after that.
And let me explain why I gave the example that I did. There was a podcast that I was listening to not too long ago, and this woman that's a motivational speaker said that after one of her speeches, where she would always tell people, find your passion, she got a letter from somebody that said, I've attended, motivational speech after motivational speech, and after each one I get more depressed because they all say the same thing. They all say, find your passion. I've been searching for my passion my entire life, and I can't figure out what it is. And she said it was after reading that letter that she decided, instead of telling people, find your passion, follow your curiosity. So maybe you don't know what your passion is. Maybe you don't actually have a passion, but you're curious about different things. So go learn something and do that as long as it interests you, and then go do something else. And then you are like that butterfly, to where butterflies, if butterflies don't exist and birds don't exist, flowers aren't getting pollinated as much as they should be. So, butterflies and birds serve a purpose. They don't have that end purpose. Like the bird doesn't wake up in the morning saying, I'm going to go pollinate flowers. No, the bird wakes up in the morning, I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, I'm going to go see what's going on. And it serves a purpose without having a definitive purpose that it knows it's following.
Thanks, Tony. And we can talk more about Venezuela, I think, on another night, because there's other details that are worthy of sharing. We'll see you tomorrow. freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live.
You're privileged to drive the road. You must follow the law.
No, I don't have to.
You're going to double park, and you're going to make a left-hand turn in front of a cop?
Can I respond to you here, Barbara?
Go right ahead.
I'm not going to run a red light in front of a cop because he has a gun and is willing to hurt me, but I've run plenty of...
Wrong. He's not going to hurt you. He's going to give you a ticket.
Oh, but if I decide not to pull over, what will he do?
Well, you're not obeying the law.
Barbara, I don't obey arbitrary words written down by strangers. I obey natural law, Barbara. That means if I do something, I expect consequences will come from that, sometimes good, sometimes bad.
You want a red light, somebody comes around and you kill them.
I would never run a red light like that. When I run a red light, I stop first, look around, make sure no one is in danger, and then I go through.
Oh, you are such a phony.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu 641-793-9660.
The latest episode of The Call to Freedom is next, after the news, on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, July 17th, 2016. Silver is trading at $20.30 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,338 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is